Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Fell in Love with Yandere Yuno Gasai movie. Before we start, please go support Cesar Mendoza 290,316 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken characters' gender, but of course Deku is a male. Izuku betrayed and was the boyfriend of a great Yandere Yuno Gasai. Chapter 1 Betrayal. It was a normal day at the UA Academy where Izuku Midoriya, the ninth bearer of One for All and future symbol of peace, studied since he was a prodigy to become a great hero since for everything he did for his classmates and friends. That led him to be very loved throughout the UA, and the teachers admired him for all the heroism and the great bravery that Izuku had, and he was a great hero for everyone, and he was Ichiko Uraraka's boyfriend since after the rescue of Bakugo and the defeat of All for One they became boyfriends, and everything was happiness in the life of our green-haired. Everything went well for him in life, and what does our green-haired person do now? Izuku's POV. Izuku was quietly at his desk with his girlfriend Uraraka since he had a free class since Aizawa went to a meeting. Izuku. Love, what are we going to do when we leave the UA, he said smiling. Uraraka. Well, get married and be happy, she said bored. Izuku. Therefore that I love you so much. Love, I was going to kiss her, but Uraraka's cell phone started to ring and Uraraka answers, and like a few minutes later she hangs up. Izuku. Who was curious? Love. Uraraka. A friend who wants to see me now, so in a few moments I come back. Love, giving her a little kiss and leaves the classroom, leaving Izuku alone. Izuku. Like that friend calls Uraraka a lot. It won't be that they have a problem, better I'll see what happens if they have a problem or something. Getting up and began to follow Uraraka silently so that she doesn't discover him and sees that Uraraka stands in a hallway and there was no one there. Then Izuku sees Iida arrive, and in that Izuku sees something that broke him horribly since Iida was kissing Uraraka and she reciprocates super gladly and the two separate. Iida. Already? Love, tell me, when are you going to leave that useless Midoriya? Uraraka. Calm down, love, just give me time to get rid of that useless, but in the meantime we have to go to have fun, she said flirtatiously, and the two left, leaving Izuku completely devastated and ran to his room where he reached the dorms and arrived at his room where he lay down on the bed and began to cry inconsolably for what he saw and wondered why he did it, why he did that, so he never left his room. Meanwhile, in the principal's office, all the teachers were gathered to talk about something important. Almight. Tell us, principal, why you called us, he said curiously. Nezu. Well, I sent for you since I just received an anonymous video where it says it shows the true traitor of the UA. Almight. Let's see, play the video. Nezu put the video, and it showed Shigaraki waiting in a dark alley, and to everyone's surprise and anger and fury, Izuku arrives with many folders with information from the UA and gives them to Shigaraki, and the two go their separate ways, thus ending the video. Almight. That bastard deceived us, he said furiously. Present Mick. He has lied to us all this time. Lock King. There, we have to lock that bastard in Tartarus. Sniper. There, we have to kill that traitor. So everyone began to throw curses at him, Asia, Izuku, everyone except Midnight, Aizawa and Nezu, who did not believe in the video until Aizawa speaks. Aizawa. Wait a moment, this has to be a big mistake, since why do we believe a video if we do not know where it came from, that of a true hero like Izuku? Midnight. Yes, also Izuku confessed to me that since he was little it was always his dream to be a hero, so we do not believe in the video, they said seriously. Almight. Enough of cheap excuses, he is the traitor, and that's it, and tomorrow we are going to take him to Tartarus, he said angrily. They're Almight. The next day. We see Izuku sitting at his desk sad for what he saw yesterday. That Aizawa arrives. Aizawa. Midoriya, they call you in the direction. Izuku. I'm going. Like this, the two went to the address where they arrived, and Izuku knocked on the door and received a pass from the principal, and upon entering Izuku saw that all the teachers were looking at him super seriously, except Midnight, Aizawa and Nezu, who were somewhat worried. Nezu. Young Midoriya knows why we sent for him. Izuku. No, because principal, but receives a punch in the stomach from Almight. Almight. Stop lying, damn traitor, said angrily. Izuku. Traitor, Almight, what are you talking about, he said confused and hurt. Almight. And no, on this putting the video. What he didn't know is that class 1 heard everything and began to throw curses at him, Asia, Izuku, everyone except Bakugo, Todoroki, Kirishima, Momo, Sayu and Jiru, who believed in Izuku. At the end of the video, Izuku was paralyzed by what he saw. Izuku. That's not me, I swear, please believe me, he said through tears. Almight. Shut up, giving him a kick, your trash, give me back the One for All, taking a hair off him and eats it, and he was going to hit him again, but he returns to his skeletal form since Aizawa was watching him with his quirk activated. Aizawa. Run my offspring dodging the blows of La King and All Might while he looked at them, and Izuku ran towards the exit, but a kick from Iida sends him far away and falls to the ground, and the whole class comes out and starts hitting Izuku with everything. Uraraka. I can't believe I had a damn traitor as a boyfriend, but you know one thing, kissing Iida, I've cheated on you all this time with Iida-kun, and he was capable of giving me everything and more in bed, he said brazenly, but receives an explosion from Bakugo. Bakugo. Run nerd run. Hiroshima. We distract them by activating his quirk. Sai. Why do we believe in you? He said smiling. Izuku. Thanks guys, said in tears. Momo. Run. Izuku runs, creating some bombs and throwing them at everyone, and Izuku runs away, and everyone was about to attack those who defended Izuku, but an ice pillar is placed in front of them, and that's when All Might arrives, who breaks the pillar and knocks out everyone, and Izuku was running through the forest, but a kick from All Might sends him to the ground where he breaks his ribs, and All Might hit him so hard that he made bleed too much, and Izuku was super hurt, and All Might picks him up and puts anti-quirk handcuffs on him, and Nezu arrives. Nezu. Young Midoriya for let's see betrayed and see given valuable information from the UA to the League of Villains. He is expelled from the UA and will be taken to Tartarus, he said seriously and approaches Izuku's ear. Calm down young Midoriya, me and the others are going to do everything possible to get you out of Tartarus, and Izuku doing. And that All Might puts him in a black van and takes Tartarus and left the UA, while everyone celebrated for Dis to catch the UA traitor, and Izuku arrived at Tartarus where they put him. They went down to the deepest part of Tartarus, and they arrived and threw Izuku into a cell and left him there, and Izuku began to cry inconsolably for everything that happened, and then a guard arrives. Guard. Brett, you have visitors. So taking Izuku to a visiting room, whereupon entering Izuku saw his mother. Inko. Izuku. Izuku. Mom. The two hug each other and begin to cry. Inko. Izuku, oh my baby, look how they left you alone. I brought some bandages and medicine to cure you, and Izuku, no matter what happens I will get you out of here my boy, because I believe in you, he said in tears. Izuku. Thank you mom, crying with happiness, knowing that his mother supported him and did not believe in the video. So Inko began to cure Izuku while they talked until visiting time ended and Izuku returned to his cell, and then a portal opens showing Shigaraki, Toga and Dabi. Shigaraki. Hello hero Deku, how are you, said mockingly. Izuku. You damn wretch, why did you do that to me, damn unhappy, and what do you want from me, said angrily. Shigaraki. Simple, everything you know about the UA and that you join us. Izuku. I will never join you, screw you, said angrily. Shigaraki. If that's what you want, Toga Dabi, have fun. So Toga and Dabi began to torture him horribly, and Izuku just screamed in pain until Toga and Dabi got tired and left, leaving Izuku very badly injured, and then a person approaches Izuku since he saw what they did to Izuku. Hey, are you okay, please answer, don't die, he said somewhat worried and taking fire out of his hands, thus healing his wounds and giving him energy, and Izuku began to wake up little by little until he saw a girl with pink eyes and pink hair. Oh, you finally wake up, I thought you were already dead, she said smiling, and Izuku moves away from her. Izuku, QQQ, who are you, she said scared. Chapter 2 Yuno Gasai. Izuku. QQQ, who are you, said scared. Calm down, I'm not going to hurt you, calm down, I won't do anything to you, I promise, really I won't hurt you, rather I want to help you since I saw what those two did to you, he said smiling, making Izuku calm down. Izuku. Okay, I'll trust you, I'm Izuku Midoriya, he said calmly and smiling. Nice to meet you, my name is Yuno Gasai, he said smiling, blushing Izuku a little for Yuno's beautiful smile. Izuku. Hey Yuno, why are you here since I think we have the same age, curious. Yuno. Actually I'm 14 years old and the reason I'm here is something that might scare you or get away from me, said sadly. Izuku. No, not at all Yuno, you can trust me, seriously I won't leave you alone, seriously, he said smiling, blushing Yuno for Izuku's smile. Yuno. Well, the reason why I'm here is that my parents always forced me to train day and night since they just wanted me to be a heroine and take my money, and sometimes they didn't feed me and I just trained, and sometimes I didn't sleep and they always hit me with a whip so I would train a lot more, but one day I broke down and burned my house down with them inside, and I was about to kill my ex-boyfriend since he was unfaithful to me with other women, and I was stabbing him, but the police arrived. And they put me in here and I don't know if he's still alive, and that's why I'm here, he said sadly, remembering his past, and she shed some tears, and Izuku was super angry for what they did to Yuno, and without thinking twice he hugs Yuno tightly, something that surprised her a lot, but for some strange reason she liked that hug, and she reciprocates the hug. Izuku. Calm down Yuno, those bastards who called themselves your parents must be burning in hell, and that bastard who called himself boyfriend didn't deserve you since you are a pretty girl, and he is an idiot who did not know how to appreciate what he had, he said smiling, calming Yuno and blushing a little. Yuno. Thanks Izuku for those nice words. I know this is very sudden, but do you want to be my friend, said smiling. Izuku. Of course Yuno-chan, if I accept to be your friend, said smiling. Yuno. Thank you very much Izuku-kun said happily, but someone opens Izuku and Yuno's cell. You pointing at Izuku. Izuku. Who are you, he said seriously, but the man grabs him by the neck and puts him against the wall and puts something sharp on his neck. Yuno. Hey, leave him alone, said somewhat worried. You damn brat, you put me in all this time, I trusted you, damn, he said angrily. Izuku. Stain, is it you, he said a little nervous. Stain. Yes, it's me, damn brat, now tell me why you cheated on me, said angrily. Izuku. Wait please, I can explain it seriously, he said scared. Stain. You better have a very good explanation or else I'll slit your neck, he said angrily, putting the knife further on Izuku's neck. Izuku. What happened is that someone I don't know who but sent a fake anonymous video that showed that I am the traitor of the UA, but I am not, seriously, I would never do that, but everyone believed that video that said to me nervous, and Stain lowers it and removes the knife from his neck. Stain. Okay, I will believe you since the heroes are so stupid that they don't even know how stupid they are, and tell me something, who attacked you. Izuku. Almost all but very few defended me. Stain. Yes, they are very idiots, the heroes, and more the future heroes I feel in see distrustful of you. Izuku. Okay Stain, I know it's somewhat strange that I am here, he said smiling. Stain. Well, everything is fixed now, I will return to my cell because I think they will be looking for me everywhere leaving. You know. Who was Izuku-kun said curiously. Izuku. He's a villain who considers me the #1 hero of all, but don't worry, he won't attack me, he said smiling. You know. I understand. At that, the lights go out. Izuku. Well, it's time to sleep. You know. Hey Izuku-kun, can you sleep with me since I'm afraid of the dark? Said blushing. Izuku. Claw, of course Yuno-chan. So the two lay on the floor, but Yuno curls up on Izuku's chest and Izuku hugs her and the two slept together. The next day we see Izuku and Yuno sleeping peacefully, but the two were super close to each other, feeling their breaths, and the two began to wake up little by little, and when they saw each other they would blush too much. They both quickly separate. Izuku. BB, good morning Yuno-chan said blushing. Yuno. Boo boo, good morning Izuku-kun said blushing. Izuku. Sorry for being too close to you said blushing. Yuno. Okay Izuku-kun, me too, sorry for being too close to you said blushing. Izuku. Okay Yuno-chan. At that a portal opens showing Shigaraki and Twice and Sniper. Shigaraki. Hello again Hero, Deku said sinisterly. Izuku. Since I have said that I will never join you, I will never do it, and I will never do it for anything in the world, seriously, putting Yuno behind. Shigaraki. Well, if you want that, Twice, Sniper, have fun. At that, Sniper would throw a blade at Izuku on his knee, and Twice creates 4 clones that grab Izuku, and the real one begins to hit Izuku super hard, and Sniper cut him a little, leaving super deep wounds, making Izuku scream heartbreakingly, but. You know. Already leave him alone, screaming super loud and angry, would throw a ball of fire like that twice, and Sniper and Yuno begin to throw more flames, making the two run towards the portal, and Yuno approaches Izuku super worried. Yuno. Izuku, please wake up please, she said super worried and taking out fire from her hands, healing his wounds and giving strength to Izuku. Meanwhile in Izuku's mind. Izuku was in a place where it was super dark. Izuku. Hey, where am I? What am I doing here? What is this place? Is this strange? And that a great light illuminates in the place, and 6 figures are shown that were Nana and the other carriers. Nana. Hello Izuku said smiling. Izuku. Miss Nana, what are you doing here? If I remember correctly, All Might took the One for All from me, he said shocked. Yoichi. You did not give it to your will, therefore the One for All is still in you. Nana. Besides, the One for All chooses who deserves to have it, and also Izuku, the One for All chose you, and the One for All is all yours because you earned it, Izuku said smiling. Izuku. I promise you that I will never let you down, seriously, and I will do my best for you, said with determination. Everyone. We trust you, Izuku. Chapter 3 Thanks Izuku. We see our green-haired boy waking up little by little and Yuno seeing Izuku, who had already woken up, and Yuno hugs him very tightly. Yuno. Oh Izuku, I thought you would never wake up, I worried a lot. Izuku, those bastards hurt you a lot, but calm down, I already healed all your wounds, calm down, do not worry anymore, since now they do hurt you, I will heal you, he said smiling, hugging Izuku. Izuku. Thanks Yuno-chan, but they did not do anything to you, they did not hurt you, he said somewhat worried. Yuno. Fortunately not, since they did not know I was here, but what a good fireball I threw at them, he said laughing. Izuku. You shouldn't have done it, they could hurt you. Yuno. Seriously, what do you expect me to do? That I simply stood by watching how my best friend was hurt and allowed them to hurt him? Super horrible. Did you think I would not take extreme measures against those bastards? Reconsider, Izuku. I can't stop someone from suffering, said Izuku. Would be surprised since the short time that has known her never saw her something serious. Izuku. Okay, but please don't do it again since I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want to see my best friend hurt, okay, she said, looking at Yuno, which she would blush a little since she didn't think Izuku cared so much about her. Yuno. Okay, Izuku, but I will protect you no matter what and at all costs, okay? Izuku. Okay, but just scare them away, and if things get too ugly, run away as fast as you can. Just leave me behind while you run away, okay? Yuno. But that would be abandoning you, so I don't want to abandon you, said with a pout. Izuku. Well, no, there is no other option, or maybe we both escape together. Yuno. Good idea, Izuku-kun said, smiling, blushing. Bard. Brat's meal time, opening his cell. Izuku. Come Yuno, let's eat. Yuno. Okay, Izuku. So the two went to the dining room where many inmates opened, and Izuku and Yuno grabbed their tray and they formed, and Izuku gave him his food, which was a rice ball, and went to sit at a table. Yuno. Excuse me, can you give me my food please? But she was harshly ignored. Yuno. Hey, excuse me, can you give me my food please? Villain. Move, Brat, pushing Yuno and throwing her to the ground, making Yuno go and sit without her food. Izuku. What happened, Yuno-chan? Where is your food? Yuno. He took it from me, pointing at the villain. Izuku. Stay here, standing up and going towards the villain. What do you want, Brat? Izuku. Give me your food now, he said seriously, and the villain stands up. Villain. Do you really think a simple brat like you can intimidate me? Don't make me laugh, laughing, but suddenly Izuku, activating one for all at 30%, punches him in the neck, causing him to faint instantly, shocking all the inmates, and Izuku grabs the tray with Yuno's food and gives it to him. Izuku. Take Yuno-chan, giving him the tray. Yuno. Thanks, Izuku-kun, giving him a kiss on the cheek, blushing. Izuku. Muscular. Hey Stain, why the hell is that brat here? It's not like he became a damn villain, he said seriously and breaking a spoon. Stain. Calm down, he's there because someone gave him a fake video that betrayed the heroes, and that's why he's like this. Muscular. I see, heroes are so easy to fool, that's why I'm here, he said, smiling mockingly, imagining how they are going to discover Izuku's innocence. After finishing the meal, Izuku and Yuno returned to their cell. Izuku. Hey Yuno-chan. Yuno. What's wrong, Izuku-kun, but sees that Izuku was a little blushed. Yuno. What's wrong, Izuku-kun, are you okay? Do you have a fever? Touching Izuku's face. Izuku. I want to ask you a favor, but I don't know how to tell you, said blushing. Yuno. With words, Izuku, with words. Izuku. Okay, can you stand in the corner please? I want to take a bath to get all the blood out of my body, said blushing. Yuno. Okay, and I promise I won't look, Izuku, and by the way I'll also take a bath after you, said smiling. Izuku. Thank you very much, Yuno, now please stand in the corner. Yuno. Okay, Izuku-kun, sitting in the corner, quietly turned away, and here's how the shower turns on, and Izuku starts to bathe, and Yuno was calm looking at the corner, but sees a piece of glass and lifts it up, and sees something that would make her blush too much, and that is that she saw Izuku bathing calmly, and looked at his whole body full of scars, and a large waterfall of nasal blood would come out as she looked at Izuku's member, which was somewhat long, causing that for some strange reason Yuno's eyes would become hearts, but she sees Izuku looking in her direction and quickly throws the glass, claiming to be the one who didn't see anything. Izuku. Already, Yuno, I'm done, turning off the shower faucet and puts on her prison clothes. Yuno. Okay, Izuku-kun, now it's my turn, standing up. Bard. Green brat, you have visitors. Izuku. Well, I'll be back, Yuno-chan. Yuno. Okay, Izuku. So Izuku went with the guard to the visiting room where Izuku arrived, and upon entering Izuku saw his mother with some bandages. Inko. Hello son, how are you, she said, somewhat worried. Izuku. I'm fine mom, I'm trying to survive this hell literally. Inko. Well, sit down, I'm going to heal you. Izuku. Okay mom. So Inko began to heal Izuku of all his wounded while they talked. Izuku. And Uraraka revealed to me that she was unfaithful to me all this time, said sadly. Inko. There son, I knew that girl was not good for you, since it seemed strange to me that she never accompanied me to see you, but calm down son, I know that you will find a great, beautiful and cute woman who will love you forever, said smiling. Izuku. In fact, I made a friend here in Tartarus. Inko. Really, said smiling. Izuku. Yes, her name is Yuno Gasai, and she is my best friend now, said smiling. Inko. There son, I am glad that now you have a friend that you can be happy in your friendship, said smiling. Izuku. Thanks mom. Bard. Visiting time is over. Izuku. Well mom, see you later. Inko. Take care son and take care of that friend of yours said smiling. Izuku. Come on mom I promise you said smiling and leaving the room and went to his cell where when he arrived he got very confused since Yuno was not even alone his clothes. Izuku. Yuno somewhat worried goes through the corridors of the cells but hears some strange noises and runs to look for those noises and arrived at a room where he saw that Yuno was struggling with some villains to get rid of them. Villain 1. Already brat. Yuno. No please don't do anything to me please. Villain 2. Shut up damn it giving him a hit that draws some blood from his head. Villain 1. Keep it up and we will kill you just like your little friend you heard he said annoyed and Yuno stopped struggling and the villains were already about to grape Yuno but. Izuku. Leave her alone screaming super annoyed and activating the one for all at 40% and punches the two villains causing them both to fall to the ground fainted and bleeding from the nose and mouth. Izuku. Yuno-chan are you okay he said worriedly and Yuno hugs him. Yuno. Sniff sniff Izuku sniff thanks for saving me sniff I thought you would never arrive sniff I was very scared sniff I don't know what would happen if you sniff weren't here sniff sniff crying why was I going to get raped. Izuku. Calm down Yuno-chan, nothing and no one is going to hurt you again while I'm here he said smiling hugging Yuno and calming her down. Guards. But what happened here? Izuku. It was me, it was me, it was me, it was my fault Yuno didn't do anything I can't finish since he received a great shock from the guards causing him to faint and they take Izuku to his cell where they throw him. Yuno. Thanks sniff thanks Izuku-kun sniff sniff you are my hero, I love you very much, Izuku said between tears and gives him a kiss on the cheek and thus healing him and stayed taking care of Izuku all night and did not sleep since he did not care for Izuku. Chapter 4 Crown. We see Izuku waking up little by little and Izuku wakes up completely and looks at Yuno who was trying not to sleep and Izuku approaches Yuno and Yuno looks at him and hugs him very tightly and begins to cry of happiness since he did not know if Izuku would die or not. Izuku. Okay, calm down Yuno-chan I'm fine now he said smiling, trying to calm her down. Yuno. It's that Izuku everything you do for me I'm stupid why do I make you suffer he said crying. Izuku. No Yuno-chan you don't make me suffer the truth is that I feel super happy that you are okay if you are okay, I will be more than fine, I will be happy that you are by my side another day, he said smiling, making Yuno blush at those words. Yuno. Okay Izuku-kun I promise that I will always be with you in everything and I will also protect you from those bastards, he said smiling blushing Izuku for his beautiful smile. Bard. Brat's breakfast I'm throwing 2 at him breads to Izuku and Yuno. Izuku. Well time for breakfast grabbing the breads and the two begin to eat quietly. Yuno. Hey Izuku-kun. Izuku. What's wrong Yuno-chan eating? Yuno. Can I ask you something and you don't get mad? Izuku. Of course I won't get mad at all go tell me smiling blushing at Yuno for Izuku's beautiful smile. Yuno. Well what I want to ask you is what happened to you out there since when you arrived you were covered in blood and super hurt what happened to you he said curiously. Izuku sighs since he hated remembering that day. Izuku. Well. So Izuku began to tell everything that happened to him how they betrayed him and how some saved him since they trusted him and how the woman he loved the most in the world was unfaithful to him with another man. This made Yuno get very angry to the point that he balled up his bread and more for Uraraka since Uraraka not only betrayed him if no, that he was unfaithful to Izuku. Izuku. And that was all that happened to me, but Yuno hugs him very tightly. Yuno. I'm sorry to ask that but calm down Izuku-kun that idiot did not know how to value a great man that you are and calm down, you will find someone much better said smiling. Izuku. Thanks Yuno-chan said smiling. Yuno. Hey Izuku-kun can I ask you a favor? Izuku. Yes tell me. Yuno. Can you stand in the corner since I want to take a bath he said calmly blushing a lot Izuku. Izuku. Okay he stands in the corner and Yuno takes off his clothes and starts to bathe and Izuku was calm and looks at the floor and sees the piece of glass he lifted and would blush a lot since he was seeing Yuno's body. Izuku's mind. So that means that Yuno was really seeing me no reason his face was blushing but he really saw my body. Outside of Izuku's mind. Yuno turns around and Izuku quickly throws the glass away pretending to be the one who didn't see anything and Yuno saw that and smiled a little blushing. Yuno. He naughty Izuku said smiling and an idea occurs to him and turns off the bathroom faucet. Yuno. I'm done Izuku. Izuku. Oh good Yuno, I'm taking a bath right now, he didn't finish talking since when he turned around he saw Yuno who was completely naked, blushing Izuku a lot and causing a large thread of blood to come out of his nose. Yuno. What's wrong Izuku do you like it? He said smiling and Izuku turns around. Izuku. Yeah Yuno-chan put on your clothes he said blushing and Yuno approaches Izuku and hugs his back. Yuno. "Oh come on Izuku-kun, don't lie to me, since we are best friends you like it right," he said in his ear, biting his dark circle. "Izuku. Yes, we are best friends, but I love you and respect you, and I like that you are like this, so put on your clothes please," he said, blushing and surprised a lot since he realized that he is not a pervert, and for some strange reason his heart began to beat super hard for the word "I love you." I Izuku really love me, surprised. Izuku. Yes I love you a lot and I respect you for that, please put on clothes. Okay Izuku-kun, I'm sorry for putting myself like that in front of you, he said a little sad and puts on his cell suit. Izuku. Calm down, it was just a mistake, that's all. Guard. Green brat, you have visitors. Izuku. Well Yuno-chan, wait for me here, I'll be right back, and if something happens run with all your strength and never stop, okay? Okay Izuku-kun. So Izuku left with the guard until he arrived and Izuku comes in. Izuku. Hello mom, I was waiting for you, but she gets very confused since, instead of seeing her mother, she saw a man in a suit. It's you, right? Izuku. And who are you, said something serious. Calm down boy, can you trust, my name is Kuruno, friend of Yuno Gasai. Izuku. How do you know Yuno's name's serious? Kuruno. I already told you I'm his friend, and so on, I come here to visit her sometimes to see how she is, and the truth is I thank you for being with her, since she is a Yandere. Izuku. One that confused. Kuruno. You don't know what a Yandere is? Izuku. No, that's curious. Kuruno. A Yandere is a person who feels a great obsession, very strong of love, that is to say, Yuno is crazy in love, and when she had a boyfriend she took care of him and protected him, and loves him very much to the point that she is always with him forever. That is why she is here, since when she had that Yuki as a boyfriend and he was unfaithful to her, she went crazy and almost killed him, since she supported him like 40 times, but I don't know how, but he is still alive since they were able to save him in time, and now he is going for the 15th surgery on his stomach. Izuku. Well, he is a bucking idiot who did not know how to value a great woman like Yuno. I do not know what he saw in the other, if Yuno is super pretty in every sense, the truth said seriously. Kuruno. Well, what I was coming for is that I wanted to thank you for taking care of Yuno. Izuku. No, that's why I take care of her and protect her with all my soul, he said smiling. Kuruno's mind. It seems that this boy loves Yuno, but at least Yuno will have someone else in life. I congratulate you Yuno, you will be happy again. Outside of Kuruno's mind. Kuruno. Well, I hope you both are well. Izuku. Thanks Kuruno. So visiting time passed peacefully until it ended and Izuku returned to his cell where he saw Yuno playing with his fire, and Yuno sees Izuku. Yuno. And how was your visit Izuku? Izuku. Well, since a man named Kuruno came to see you, and the truth. Yuno. And what did he say to you? Izuku. And he thanked me for taking care of you, and the truth is I told him that I would take care of you at all times and would give my life for you, he said smiling. Yuno. There, thanks Izuku, you are my favorite hero and I am your #1 fan, one said smiling, hugging Izuku. Guard. Bedtime starting, turning off the lights and Yuno turns on his hands. Izuku. Well Yuno-chan, let's sleep. Yuno. Okay Izuku. So the two lie down and hug each other. It was already 1:30 in the morning where Yuno for some strange reason couldn't sleep and separates from Izuku. Yuno. There, but how cute Izuku looks sleeping, he said smiling, caressing his hair that for some strange reason began to smell it, feeling a great tingling in her vagina and sees that it was super wet. Yuno. No. I shouldn't do it, Izuku is here, she said whispering, super blushed, but if the tingling increases more and more to such a point that Yuno's vagina was super wet, Yuno. No, I can't hold it anymore, I should do it, putting it in the corner and pulling down her pants. Lemon skipped. Yuno. Good night Izuki my love, she said like a Yandere and fell asleep. Chapter 5. Exit from Tartarus and Confession. We see our pair of friends sleeping peacefully, but Yuno had a huge smile, but Izuku was hugging Yuno, but he was grabbing something very soft, and the two began to wake up, and Izuku grabs tightly what he was holding, making Yuno moan, and when he saw himself he would blush a lot, and they quickly separate. Izuku. BB good morning Yuno-chan said blushing. Yuno. Good morning Izuku-kun said blushing. Izuku. Sorry for hugging you like that and grabbing your butt, sorry he said blushing and embarrassed. Yuno. Calm down Izuku, it was just an accident, even though I liked what you did, she said blushing, and the last thing she said whispering. Izuku. What did you say? Yuno. That it was just an accident, nothing happens. Izuku. Okay Yuno-chan. Guard. Brat's breakfast, I'm throwing 2 breads at Izuku and Yuno. Izuku. Well, let's go have breakfast, grabbing the 2 breads, but he would be confused since he saw white and viscous liquid. Izuku. Yuno, what is that, curious? Yuno. I think it's something from the pipes above since sometimes they leak, she said calmly, even though inside she was scared to death in case Izuku believed her. Izuku. You're right, maybe that's why the pipes are a bit obese. You know. Yes, maybe, she said calmly and relieving herself inside. Narrator. The whole year had passed where Izuku was in Tartarus, and in this year Izuku was tortured or hurt by the League of Villains, but Yuno always defended him and hurt them and burned them horribly, leaving somewhat horrible burns to the League, but they did not care and continued to torture Izuku, but with fear for Yuno, and in this year Izuku always trained to improve One for All and master it well, and Yuno helped him with his training to improve, and Stain and Muscular also helped him in his training and also helped him against a League of Villains, and Izuku already mastered One for All 100%, and one day he woke up other quirks that were the quirks of the former carriers, and he already mastered the quirks of the carriers, which were Black Whips, Smokescreen, Radar, Float, etc., and Izuku was now the strongest prisoner of all and the most respected of all, and Izuku got the nickname of the Strong Demon, since when they went too far ready Izuku or hurt them or left them half dead, and all the prisoners feared him, and they didn't mess with Yuno, since if someone gets too smart with her, and someone touches her with just a rose petal, he would leave them on the verge of death, and that's why nobody bothered Yuno anymore, and the two were known as the Couple of Death. Since due to their great quirks that can kill you in a jiffy, and this year Yuno began to feel things for Izuku that she hadn't felt for a long time, which was love since when he helped her with the villains, and sometimes they protected her, and there was one time when she didn't eat anything because she wasn't given food, and Izuku gave her his food that made her fall in love a lot, and she always took care of him and protected him like her property, and she always masturbated at night while looking at Izuku, imagining a life with Izuku that the two of them are married and have children and be hers forever, and she nicknamed him Izuki affectionately, and Izuku didn't mind anymore. He liked that Yuno called him that, and Izuku also had fallen in love with Yuno because of her beautiful face and her beauty and her cute attitude that made him fall in love, and he always took care of her as his own and always gave her kisses on the cheek since he loved her very much, and Inko always visited Izuku too. He'll hammer to see how he was, but there was a day in which Inko stopped visiting Izuku that worried Izuku a lot, but he thought that she was busy with other things, that's why she didn't visit him, but sadly Inko died because when she was investigating the innocence of her son, she was attacked in a dark alley by Uraraka, and Almight and Uraraka did something that she doesn't regret, because he hit her over and over again, and Almight and Ida also hit her and raped her, and Uraraka ended up killing her by burying a knife in her, and they left the body in an alley where she was found by the police because they received a call that they found Inko's body, and they gave her a funeral where Mitsuki wouldn't stop crying for her best friend, and Bakugo also cried for his aunt, and they buried her where the tombstone said, "I love your son, whether you're a traitor or not," and Nezu didn't know how to tell him the horrible truth about his mother's death, and Izuku had a good time with Yuno and that kept him distracted from everything. And what does our couple do now? Izuku and Yuno's POV. Izuku was doing planks while Yuno was on top of Izuku. Yuno. Come on Izuku, you can do it, don't give up, he said, motivating Izuku more so he doesn't stop. Izuku. 996, 997, 998, 999, 1000 finishing, and Yuno stands up from on top of Izuku, and the two sit on the wall. Yuno. And what do you want to do now, putting his head on Izuku's shoulder? I don't know, tell me, putting his head on top of Yuno's head. Yuno. Can you sing me a song? Izuku? Sure. So Izuku began to sing. All men have sung it at full volume. So Izuku sang a great hint and Yuno shed tears for such a beautiful song. Yuno. What a beautiful song, wiping his tears. Izuku. I dedicate it to you, said blushing to Yuno. Yuno. Thank you Izuku-kun. Yuno's mind. Very well Yuno, it's now or never, if you don't do it then you will lose Izuki forever. Outside of Yuno's mind. Yuno. Hey Izuki. Izuku. What's wrong Yuno-chan, seeing her? Yuno. It's that I want to tell you something, but I don't know how to tell you. Izuku. With words Yuno, with words. Yuno. Well, it's that you blushing. Izuku. Me that. Yuno. You me I. Don't finish loving you, since a great explosion is heard and the cells open, and everyone sees the League of Villains and some Nomus who came to get Afo out. Izuku. Yuno-chan is now, let's get out of this damn hell. Yuno. Izuki, I'm very scared, she said with fear, and Izuku takes her hands. Izuku. Nothing will happen while I'm here, taking Yuno's hand, now let's get out of here. Yuno. Okay Izuki. So the two ran with all their strength, but Shigaraki sees it and pounced on him and throws him. Shigaraki. Hello Hero Deku, what a shame you have to die, you should have seen yourself united with us, goodbye. Hero Deku was about to touch Izuku, but Yuno. Already leave him, damn, throwing a lot of fire burning him. Shigaraki. You've already had enough of me, damn. Brat was about to pounce on Yuno, but Muscular arrives and hits him and sends him far away. Izuku. Stain. Muscular. Muscular. Run boy run. Stain. We will give you time to escape. Muscular. Get out of here and show everyone that you are idiots. Stain. And become a great hero that this damn society deserves. They said smiling. Izuku. Thank you very much muscular Stain. Stain. Run boy runs pouncing on Dabi. Izuku. Let's get out of here Yuno-chan carrying Yuno like a princess blushing her and Izuku activates one for all to the maximum and runs like lightning dodging all the villains and Izuku was running until he got out of Tartarus. Izuku. Finally we are outside said relieved. Yuno. Izuku throwing himself on top of Izuku avoiding an explosion. Izuku. What happened confused and scared. Yuni. Well, I just saved your life, silly, he said smiling. Izuku. But why did you do that? Surprised. Yuno. Why do I love you so much love? I love you when I met you I fell in love with you and that's why I always protected you. Why do I love you so much? She said smiling surprising Izuku a lot since he never thought that Yuno reciprocated his feelings. Izuku. I love you too, I love you very much, Yuno-chan. When I met you, I fell in love with you, with your beauty, with your tenderness, and with everything about you, so I want to ask you if you want to be my girlfriend, he said, half blushing, making Yuno shed tears of happiness, since I really hope for the day when Izuku declares his love. Yuno. Of course Izuki I want to be your girlfriend. I waited for this day all year, and if I accept to be your girlfriend, your wife, all my love and we will get married and we will have many children, and we will be very happy together, she said shedding tears of happiness. At that the two begin to get closer and the two kiss. A kiss that expressed all the love that he felt for a long time, a love that will never be broken or damaged, and a love that will never be separated or broken, a Yandere love that the two felt. Izuku's mind. Even if you're a Yandere I don't give a damn I love you too much just the way you are, and I will never leave you for anything in the world, and I will always be by your side forever, and you will be mine all mine forever. Outside of Izuku's mind. Izuku and Yuno continued kissing, and the two separated with a thread of saliva. Izuku. Okay love let's go somewhere else to rest standing up and taking Yuno's hand. Yuno. Okay love. Yuno's mind. Izuki I will love you forever and I will always be yours forever my love and I will not allow anyone to take you away from me. Outside of Yuno's mind. So the two went somewhere else to hide and rest a little. Chapter 6. Izuku and Yuno's first date. The next day. We see our couple sleeping in a dark alley and the two began to wake up little by little and when they see each other they kiss of pure love and separate with a thread of saliva. Izuku. Good morning love. Yuno. Good morning love and what are we going to do now love? Izuku. Well since we are outside better there than looking for a shelter where no one will look for us and I know a good place my house said smiling. Yuno. Okay love let's go at once. So the two leave the alley and walk through the streets luckily no one recognized Izuku since Izuku had hair and a little long than usual and some did not know Yuno or forgot the news about Yuno like that walking a couple of blocks until they arrived at Izuku's house. Izuku. This is my house. Yuno. Oh how exciting I am going to meet your mother my mother-in-law love said anxiously. Izuku. Yes now let's knocking on the door but received no answer and knock again but received no answer. Izuku. Maybe he is working that's why he put the lock on it good let's go and love taking a copy of the key from the mat and opening the door. Izuku. Mom I'm here but see it's dark, how strange he always leaves the lights on when he goes out to work with the light on. Yuno. Wow your house is very pretty love she said surprised by Izuku's house. Izuku. Well love wait here I'm going to get you clothes. Yuno. Okay love. So Izuku went to get clothes for Yuno where he went to his room to look for clothes, but to his annoyance, there were a lot of clothes from Almight something that bothered him, luckily he found a black sweater and black pants and puts them on and Izuku goes to his mother's room and luckily he found clothes for Yuno and arrives with Yuno. Izuku. Well love I found clothes from your Taya. Yuno. Thanks love giving her a little kiss and begins to take off her clothes in front of Izuku. Izuku. Love blushing covering her face with her hands. Yuno. Oh that has love besides we are already boyfriends putting on clothes and they fit her well. Izuku. Good and what do you want have breakfast something blushing. Yuno. Some pancakes love. Izuku. Okay love. So Izuku began to make breakfast while Yuno waits for breakfast until Izuku finished and gives Yuno a heart-shaped pancake. Yuno. Their love thank you very much said and love giving him a kiss. Izuku. You're welcome love to breakfast. So the two began to have breakfast quietly until Yuno speaks. Yuno. Hey love. Izuku. What's up love? Yuno. Can I ask you something? Izuku. Yes tell me what. Yuno. When are we going to have our first date love he said smiling making Izuku choke on his pancake but he swallows it. Izuku. I don't know, the truth is that if we go out maybe someone can see us or maybe they'll lock us up again in Tartarus forever, and the truth is I don't want anything to happen to us, and I don't want them to try to do something serious to you again," he said, somewhat worried. "You know. Come on Izuku, please, also when we left the alley nobody recognized us, come on love," she said, pouting and acting like a little girl and putting on a cute face. Izuku. "Okay love, we are going to have our first date. You know." "Yes thanks love," he said, super happy and getting up and throwing himself on Izuku, who starts kissing him, and by accident the two of them fall to the floor while Yuno continued kissing Izuku. Izuku. Love trying to stop her but couldn't, and hearts were seen floating. Narrator. The two leave the house calmly and were walking calmly until they reached a fair that opened and arrived, and Yuno went to buy something, and Izuku was sitting at a table trying to talk to his mother, but for his oddity, it came out like a number outside of service or unknown number, a number that does not exist, confusing Izuku a lot. Izuku. How strange, maybe he is traveling or maybe he changed his number saving his cell phone, and Yuno arrives. Yuno. Look love, what I bought, melts quickly, giving him his ice cream. Izuku. Thanks love, eating the ice cream, a little worried, something Yuno noticed. Yuno. Love, what's wrong, you didn't like the ice cream, a little worried. Izuku. No honey, I like the ice cream, it's just that I'm a little worried since I don't know anything about my mother, since how much I try to call her, so she knows that I'm out of jail, but it comes out as an unknown number or a number that doesn't exist, he said, confused. Yuno. Maybe I'll change my number so that no one hurts me, or so that I don't receive any more threats, don't worry my love, you will see your mother again, he said, smiling. Izuku. You're right love, thank you love, finishing his ice cream, and well love, which ride do you want to get on? Yuno. Pointing to that one, the roller coaster. Izuku. Why is it better to go on the merry-go-round first, or better yet, why not the crazy cups? He said, scared, but Yuno hugs him from behind and drags him. Yuno. Calm down my love, I'm here so you don't have to be afraid. Calm down, nothing will pass, you'll be fine, she said, smiling, dragging Izuku, and the two of them get on the roller coaster. Izuku. It's okay, what bad could happen? 3 Doritos later. Izuku. Why did I get on this, stingy, screaming in fear. Yuno. Yee, how fun, raising his hands in excitement while Izuku screamed in fear. Thus ending the game, and Izuku hugged Yuno tightly while shaking in fear. Yuno. Are you really afraid of roller coasters love? Izuku. Yes, when I was a child some friends forcibly put me on the roller coaster, and the truth is I got really scared, he said in fear, hugging Yuno, and Yuno gets under his sweater. Yuno. Calm down love, if you are afraid of something I will be there so you can overcome it, he said, smiling, giving Izuku a kiss of pure love, and Izuku reciprocates, and some couples looked at Izuku and Yuno, and they thought it was something nice about their relationship, and the two separate from the kiss, and Yuno gets out of Izuku's sweater. Yuno. Come on, let's get a juice so you can relax and calm down a little fear. Izuku. Okay love. So the two went to buy a juice and the two sit down. Yuno. Hey love, why don't we drink the juice together by putting our mouths on the straw? Izuku. Okay love. So the two of them calmly drink the juice, but Izuku felt that the juice was strange since it tasted like a flavor he already knew before, and he lifts the straw and discovers that it was the same straw and what he was drinking was the juice with Yuno's saliva. Izuku. Love, don't do that, he said, super blushing, making Yuno laugh. Yuno. Sorry love, it just seemed like a good idea, and well love, which game do you want to go to? Izuku. Pointing to that one at the House of Terror. Yuno. Okay love, and I promise I won't get scared too much. 3 Doritos later. Yuno. I don't know if it was a good idea to come in here, Izuku said fearfully. It's not that scary love. But a ghost comes out of surprise. Lemon skipped. So the two went in and put on their swimsuits. Yuno. Izuku, now let's get into the water, he said, running, but he looks at Izuku's body and a huge blush appears since Izuku's body had scars giving him the appearance of a warrior who fought in many battles and has that body. Yuno's mind. My god, his mind is too hexy with that body and those scars that give him that warrior appearance and gives him the appearance that he seemed to have fought in many wars. I'm eating everything. Outside of Yuno's mind. Look, Izuku was behind a palm tree. Yuno. Hey, what's up, curious love? Izuku. I'm ashamed to go out like this, he said with shame. Yuno. Don't be a party pooper love, besides, I'm here so you don't get embarrassed, pulling Izuku, and the two of them get into the water. Izuku. The water is super refreshing or not, love? Yuno. Izuku. Izuku. Yes. Yuno. I accidentally dropped my swimsuit from my breast, said blushing. Izuku. Hey calm down, I'll get it. Yuno. "No no no, stay here with me, please don't go," hugging Izuku, and Izuku would blush too much since he felt Yuno's breasts on his chest. "Woman. Hey young lady, this is yours," giving her her bra. Yuno. "Oh yes, thank you very much," putting on her bra. "Well love, let's continue with our day," but see that Izuku was floating in the water with a silly smile and had his eyes in spirals. "Yuno. Come on love, let's have more fun," pulling Izuku. So spending a great day where Yuno and Izuku got on all the games and finally they were on the Ferris wheel. "Yuno. What a great day, or not love?" "Izuku. This was the first best date of all," he said, smiling surprised to Yuno since Izuku said first date. "Yuno. Wait, this is your first date love," she said surprised. "Izuku. Yes love, since I never had a date with Uraraka since she gave me silly excuses, but she only loved me for my money and I think she never loved me." That surprised Yuno a lot since Izuku never had a date and that meant that Yuno was his first date, and Yuno stands up and gives Izuku a kiss of pure love, a love that he felt for a long time, and the two separate with a thread of saliva. "Yuno. Calm down Izuki, that stupid girl will never know what a great man you are and she missed a great man that you are, and don't worry, I will be with you forever and I will give you a lot of love, not like that stupid girl," she said smiling, giving him a kiss of pure love. "Izuku. Thank you love," she said smiling. That's how the day ended where Yuno and Izuku left the fair, but it started to rain. Luckily Izuku had an umbrella and the two of them were walking. But the two saw something that scared them since many police officers and were questioning many drivers and asking if they had seen these two, showing a photo of Izuku and Yuno, something that scared them, and the two ran away and arrived at their house. "Yuno. Finally home, I thought they were going to see us." "Izuku. Well, whatever happens I will be with you at all times so that they do not take you away from my side love," said smiling. "Yuno. There, thank you love," giving him a kiss which Izuku reciprocates, and the two tangled their tongues with each other's. Lemon skipped. Izuku gave a few last thrusts and came heavily in Yuno's base, to which she gave a loud moan of pleasure, and so they had their unforgettable first time. Chapter 7 Izuku, Yuno vs Sasaki. The days would pass in which our couple had a great time and they felt super happy to finally have their first time together, and these days all the heroes were looking for the League of Villains since they wanted to capture them at all costs, and All Might only look for Izuku to kill him, and these days Izuku and Yuno always had sex almost every day since they wanted to have a child, so they would never separate ever, and Izuku never used a condom since he wanted to get Yuno pregnant at all costs. And these days Izuku and Yuno almost never left the house, they only went out to go shopping or look for food or clothes, but they always went with a wig and glasses or with face masks and glasses, and that's all that has happened these days. And what is our couple doing now? Of Izuku and Yuno. Izuku and Yuno were leaving the supermarket since they went shopping, and Yuno was eating ice cream in a tender way. Izuku. For the other time, don't make me those tantrums with a drop on my head. Yuno. I didn't do anything love, eating her ice cream. Izuku. Oh no, what was that from a while ago? Flashback. Yuno. Love, buy me some ice cream. Izuku. On the way out I'll buy it for you since it might melt on the way, she said calmly. Yuno. But I want some ice cream now, making a pout and acting like a little girl. Izuku. I already told you that I will buy it for you on the way out, I promise. Yuno. I want my ice cream, 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 making a big pout and acting like a little girl and throwing a tantrum that was jumping little by little, causing some people to stare at the couple. Izuku. Okay, let's get your ice cream. Yuno. Thanks love, giving him a kiss. End of flashback. Yuno. It's that I wanted my ice cream, she said with a pout, causing Izuku to sweat a drop of sweat to come out. Izuku. Well, at least we have everything we need so we can eat the whole month. Yuno. You bought me my Oreos. Izuku. 3 boxes and 5 bites. Yuno. The vanilla one's right. Izuku. Yes, I bought everything for you, giving him a kiss on the cheek, but he feels a chill and sees Yuno, who had an adorable face and a tender smile. Izuku. Yes, sorry, giving him a kiss on the lips. Yuno. Thanks love, giving him a lick to his ice cream, and Izuku also gives a lick to Yuno's ice cream. So our couple was walking quietly to his house. But suddenly a little girl collides with our couple and falls to the floor. Izuku. Hey little one, are you okay, holding my hand, and the girl clings to the couple. Please help me, I beg you, please help me, she said through tears. Yuno. What's wrong little one, something worried. Chisaki. Eri, come here now, he said, annoyed, and Eri goes, Asia. Chisaki, I'm sorry if my daughter was bothering you. Izuku. Why do you have too many bandages, seriously? Chisaki. Well, it's that she plays a lot and trips, that's why she has too many bandages. Yuno. And no, Cell does something exaggerated that she has too many bandages. Chisaki. Well, we go to withdraw, pulling Eri, but he receives a strong kick that sends him flying. Izuku. "You're not going to take the little one," he said annoyed. "Chisaki. I want to see what you try taking out some spikes." Izuku lunged at Chisaki and Izuku kicks him, but Chisaki covers him and sends him flying with a punch. "Stay here little one behind me," he said, activating his fire and lunged at Chisaki and would throw a fireball that hits Chisaki and Izuku, punches him in the stomach, causing some blood to come out, and Chisaki tries to throw some peaks and would throw several fireballs that distract Chisaki and burn him, and Izuku punches him that sends him far away, and Chisaki tried to make the peaks hit Izuku or but in a careless moment, he falls and Izuku punches him in the head, causing it to break. Too much and his entire brain comes out, thus killing Chisaki. "Izuku. You saw, idiot, I killed you, and you will not hurt this little one," approaching and Eri. Izuku. "Well, let's go," little one said, smiling. Eri. "Okay, gentlemen. Don't call us that, just call us and Izuku." Eri. "Okay Izuku, So Izuku carries Eri, and the two of them leave there, leaving the body, and arrived at his house, where Izuku puts Eri on the couch. Izuku. "Tell me little one, what is your name?" Eri. "My name is Eri. And tell me Eri, what did that man hold you?" Eri. "They used my blood to create anti-quirk bullets to destroy villains. And they always experimented on me since they always took a lot of blood from me," she said sadly, making Izuku and upset since as a monster, he could do a lot of harm to a little girl. Izuku and give him a big hug. Izuku. "Calm down now, Eri, nobody is going to hurt you again, since we will always be with you," she said, smiling. "Yes, and we will take care of you in everything and we will love you forever, my little Eri." Upon hearing those words, she could only cry with joy and hug Izuku and tightly. Eri. "Thank you mom, thank you dad." Izuku and upon hearing those beautiful words, just smiled and shed a few tears, and the hug got stronger, since they were officially family and officially parents. So spending the whole day very quiet for our family until the night, where Izuku and put Eri to bed and read a room to her and dressed her and kissed her on the forehead and went to Inko's room where throws to the bed. "Since our daughter is asleep," she said flirtatiously, and the two began to kiss. Lemon skipped. So they had a passionate night, the two. Chapter 8. Izuku the Mercenary. The days would pass in which Izuku and felt very happy that now they are Eri's parents and they are officially a real family, and in these days the heroes found Chisaki's body, where they found him super dead, and everyone was too confused since they found him with his brain out, confusing everyone, but they thought he committed suicide or something like that, and in these days our family had a great time since now they had a daughter and they bought clothes and toys for Eri, and they always had a great time since they spent a lot of time with Eri. And what is our green-haired girl doing now? Izuku's Pav. Izuku was in a cafeteria with a wig and glasses since he was waiting for someone, and then Kuruno arrives. Kuruno. "Hello, sorry for being late Izuku." Izuku. No, shut up, they can discover me, they are still looking for me everywhere," he said, whispering, annoyed. Kuruno. "I'm sorry, it's just that later I forget things anyway, do you need me to help you?" Izuku. "Well, it's that I need to get a job so that my family does not lack anything, since now that I have a daughter and now I have a family to care for and support, so please, I want a job, please do," what was said, begging. Kuruno. "There is a job that you can do, you earn very well, like 10,000 yen for each job." Izuku. Yes, that one, oh thank you very much for giving me that job, and tell me what it is about." Curious and happy at the same time, but Kuruno stands up and leaves him a small card. Kuruno. "Look at me here at 9:30, don't miss leaving the cafeteria," leaving Izuku confused, and grabs the card that showed an address of a place. Already at night. Izuku and were on top of a building where they had their hero suits. Izuku's was the same, only his suit had a dark green color. Izuku. "Wow love, that is your heroine suit," surprised since had a black dress that reached her thighs and boots that also reached her thighs, completely covering her legs. "Yes love, you like giving it a spin." Izuku. "You are super beautiful love," said happily, and throws himself at Izuku and gives him a very passionate kiss, running his tongue over Izuku's mouth. Kuruno. Ahem, calling the attention of both. You interrupt us in our kissing section, why did you call us here? A little annoying. Kuruno. "Well, I called you here since here is one of the most powerful mafias of all, since they traffic a lot of money and I want you to tear them to pieces." Okay. Izuku. "Well, let's go at once love." Okay love, so the two began to run, and Izuku activates the one for all to the maximum, and the two begin to run and knock out some guards and reach the deepest and arrive, but see several guards where takes out his sword and cuts himself a little. Izuku. "Love, what are you doing?" Confused. Look, love turning on his sword and begins to slice all the guards where Yuno slices them into 1,000 pieces, and Izuku takes out her whips and cuts some guards in half and takes out their hearts until they reach the boss. I supposed that someone would come for me, activating his quirk that touches the metal and turns and lunged at an Izuku, but Yuno would throw a ball of fire that melts the boss a little, and Izuku punches him that sends it far away, and Izuku takes advantage of that and kicks him in the stomach that destroys the whole place, and Izuku and Yuno get out of there quickly. Kuruno. Good job guys, but go before the police come take giving him money. Izuku. Thank you very much. Kuruno. Already go away. So Izuku and Yuno left there. Chapter 9 Izuku, Yuno vs Menin. The days would pass in which Izuku and Yuno had destroyed the entire ship with their boss, leaving the entire place completely destroyed and burned. The heroes could not believe that someone would end a very powerful mafia boss of all, and the heroes tried to see who were the ones who did that, but they found nothing, and in these weeks Izuku and Yuno took jobs for Kuruno, since he paid them very well, that is why they grabbed him, and many heroes tried to find the whereabouts of the two, but when they arrived at the crime scene they always saw a super terrifying scene that made them vomit or faint from terror, since they always found the villains with their bones sticking out super burned, and sometimes without heads and sometimes without organs, since they ripped them out and put them as an ornament like a necklace, and that disturbing all the heroes. And in these days all the heroes tried to find the League of Villains to lock them up again in Tartarus, but they never found anything about their whereabouts, and Almight wanted to kill Izuku at all costs. That was his goal, to kill Izuku mercilessly, and these days Izuku had a great time with his family and was very protective of Yuno and Eri, and especially with Yuno, since he was afraid of losing her. That's why he always bit her and hickeys to mark her forever, and the two always had hex, since Izuku was willing to get Yuno pregnant at all costs and for it to be only hers and no one else's. And what does our green-haired guy do now? Izuku's pav. Izuku and Yuno were on a roof since Kuruno sent them to a place far from everything, and the two were looking for someone in the abandoned buildings. Izuku. Do you remember the mission, right? Love seeing many buildings, but couldn't see anything since it was at night. Yuno. Yes, I remember the plan correctly, and it is to look for a certain Menin, the most dangerous terrorist in all of Japan, since her super explosion quirk can destroy almost everything. Izuku. Very well, but why would she send us here at 1:30 in the morning? Yuno. Maybe because what would it be easier to catch her since she works at night trafficking bombs that she makes herself. Izuku. I see. Yuno. Hey love. Izuku. Yes love. Yuno. Why is your suit the same as the one you had at the UA? Curious seeing Izuku's suit. Izuku. Well, it's that my mom, when she discovered that I was between the UA, she did it with her own, since she always trusted me and knew that I would go very far. That's why I almost always wear the same suit, said smiling. Yuno. That's why I love you very much, love said smiling and giving Izuku a kiss of pure love, and they separate with a thread of saliva. Yuno. And a question, what do you think of my suit? Turning around. Izuku. You look very beautiful, love said smiling, making Yuno get happy and jump into Izuku's arms and start kissing him. But suddenly Izuku feels a huge pulse, as if implying that something or someone was approaching, and Izuku takes Yuno down from him. Yuno. What's happening? Izuku confused. Izuku. Be careful, he grabbed Yuno and made a big jump as he dodged a huge explosion, destroying a large part of the building. Menin. Wow, I think I have some unexpected visitors. Izuku. Menin, seriously, activating one for all at 60%. Menin. That's right brat, I'm Menin, the biggest, most powerful terrorist of all, and this is my territory, so get out of here. I launched a huge explosion, destroying the building a bit, but Izuku would launch a huge smash that sent Menin somewhat far, but she gets up and goes to Izuku, but Izuku gets ahead of herself and was going to hit her, but Menin hurries up and would launch a huge explosion at Izuku, but Izuku would dodge it easily, and Menin looks at Izuku. Menin. Well, but if you are Izuku Midoriya, the traitor of the UA, you know I will kill you in the name of the UA, because I hate false heroes, throwing an explosion that Izuku dodges, and would punch Menin, sending her far away, and Menin stands up in pain, and would throw many explanations, and Izuku gets behind her, and would kick her in the head, that sends her far away. Yuki. I think it's my turn, taking out his sword, hey love don't leave me behind, pouncing on Menin. Menin. This will be the day of his death, throwing many explosions that Izuku and Yuno dodge, and Menin would throw an explosion at Izuku that sends him far away, crashing into two buildings, leaving Yuno and Menin alone. Yuno. Love, damn, you will pay for what you did to my boyfriend, counting her hand, drawing blood, setting her sword on fire and setting her hands on fire. Menin. Ah, I already remembered you. Hello Yuno, how is your boyfriend? Is that true he cheated on you for being a big Yandere? Said mockingly. Yuki. Don't talk to me about that wretch, he's not mine anymore, now I have another boyfriend who loves me too much, she said, annoyed remembering the past. Menin. I'll leave you like you left Yuki, throwing many explosions that Yuno dodges and would throw many fireballs to distract her, but Minine dodges Yuno's sword and Yuno tried to cut Minine, but she would dodge it, but Minine, already tired, would throw an explosion at Yuno that distracts her and grabs her by the head. Minine. You've already got me fed up, damn brat, throwing Yuno at Izuku. Love, pouncing on Minine and would throw another whip that Minine dodges and Izuku would throw a smash making everything fly, but Yuno took advantage and was going to stab him with his sword, but Minine would dodge it. Minine. You've got me fed up, you crazy bitch, giving her a kick that sends her far away, leaving Izuku shocked. Izuku. You damn daughter of a bitch, activating one for all to the maximum and lunging at Minine, but Minine would launch an exploration that sends Izuku far away. Minine. Ha 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 ha, what's up brat, I thought you were the strongest of all, ha ha ha, he said mockingly. But she shuts up because a knife was looking at her and it was buried in her right eye. Minine. I is screaming super loud and Izuku takes advantage and punches her in the stomach that sends her flying and crashes into 7 buildings. Izuku. Let it be very clear that nobody messes with my wife, he said, annoyed surprise to Yuno since he referred to her as his wife. Yuno. Izuki Koko, what did you call me, she said blushing. Izuku. Hey, sorry, it just slipped out, sorry, I won't say it again, he said blushing. Yuno. You can say it blushing. Izuku. Let it be clear that no one messes with my wife, he said blushing, making Yuno's heart start to beat too much, and Yuno runs to Izuku and gives him a kiss of pure love, putting his tongue all the way and making Izuku blush a lot, but he reciprocates the kiss, but they were both shocked since they hear some police sirens and saw that some heroes and policemen were approaching the place. Izuku. Let's go, love, carrying her like a princess, blushing Yuno too much and activates the one for all to the maximum and runs away in a hurry until they reach her house where they quickly close. Izuku. God, that was very tired. Yuno. Silence, love, speaking low. Izuku. What's wrong? Yuno. Come on, taking Izuku's hand, and the two go to the living room where they saw Eri completely asleep, implying that she was waiting for them and had the TV on since she was watching Looney Tunes. Izuku. Oh, how cute she looks, love, can you do me a favor, can you take her to bed, I'll take a bath, whispering. Yuno. Yes, love, whispering, and picks up Eri, puts her to bed, covers her and kisses her on the forehead and leaves Izuku's room and goes to the bathroom where he would blush a lot since Izuku was taking a bath, but Yuno, a large waterfall of blood comes out and Yuno had gotten wet. Yuno. I need it, he said with lust and begins to take off her dress, seeing that Izuku lies down in the bathtub while the hot water fell and Yuno enters and leaves Asia Izuku and gets on top of him while the hot water heated the air. Izuku. Ah, love, he said blushing. Yuno. Izuki, I can't hold it anymore, I need you inside me, he said to kiss him passionately and crossed his tongue with Izuku's. Lemon skipped. Izuku. Calm down, love, that only happens in your head, the reality is that I will be with you forever and we will never separate, never, I promise you. Yuno. It's okay, she said smiling, shedding more tears and giving him a kiss, and the two of them intensified them and the two of them cover each other up to their heads since they were going to do it again. Chapter 10, Izuku Yuno vs 12. 1 week would pass in which Minine was arrested by Kuruno and was taken to jail, but Kuruno set her free, now she lives with him secretly from everyone, and this week the heroes were looking for the League of Villains at all costs, since they may be planning to attack very soon, and the UA were looking for Izuku at all costs, and Almight was looking for him because he wanted to kill him, and in these weeks Izuku and Yuno were having a great time, but Izuku was a little scared since he thought that someone or a hero would find them for everything they did in those missions, since for the macabre things they did, they may look for them and lock them up, but that always went out of his mind, since when he spent time with his family, that always meant spending time with his family, that always made him happy, and what does our green-haired person do now? Izuku's POV. Izuku and Yuno were in a car while Kuruno was driving in her normal clothes, and they were in the back quietly, while the two gave each other small caresses and gestures of love. Kuruno. Very well guys, today we are going to see a girl who they say is fantastic since she can see the future and what is going to happen. Izuku. And tell me why we are going to see her, curious. Kuruno. Why is there a person that I need you to find at all costs, since her quirk is like twice as it creates many clones, but these clones have the power to multiply super fast, that's why I want to catch her while driving down a highway. Izuku. Oh, I see, that's why you want to go see her. Why do you feel she may be there, or so she can see your future where she could be, or if she will end you by surprise, that's why you want her to see your future. Kuruno. Exactly, that's why we're going for her driving. Yuno. Hey love, do you want some chocolate? Izuku. Yes of course, but he sees that Yuno had a chocolate in his mouth, blushing him a little, and approaches Yuno to grab some chocolate, but Yuno put it further in his mouth, and Izuku tried to bite some of the chocolate, but Yuno puts it further and further, until the two kiss that the two began to have a tongue fight in their mouths, so they continued for a couple of minutes. Kuruno. We're here pair of lovebirds. Yuki. You take the fun out of life somewhat annoying making a pout. Izuku. Well let's go in at once. So the three got out of the car and everyone sees that there were a lot of people lined up to see the girl. Izuku. Wow there are a lot of people. Kuruno. Luckily I have a direct pass to see her so let's go at once. Izuku. Okay. So the three began to walk until they reached a type of temple where they enter. Kuruno. There she is pointing at a gate that there was the girl. Izuku. Really is she? Kuruno. Yes go see if she is awake or not. Izuku. Okay approaching until he was in front of her and the girl opened her eyes. Izuku. Hello my name is. I know who you are Izuku Midoriya I would know that you were going to come here nice to meet you, my name is Tsubaki nice to meet you greeting kindly. Izuku. Oh I see you have a very impressive quirk said impressed. Tsubaki. Yes they always tell me, but why did you come since when I saw you enter you just wanted me to read your future. Izuku. It's not really for me, but it's okay I want to know some things that I feel can happen to me, and I want to know if they are true or not sitting next to him. Tsubaki. Let's see, touching Izuku's face and begins to touch his face, passing his hands all over it. Yuno's mind. That bitch is very close to my Izuku, and she is also groping my husband if she kisses him, I swear I will kill her, I will make her suffer a lot thinking furiously for those close to me who were Izuku and Tsubaki. Outside of Izuku's mind. Tsubaki. Wow I see in you several things that will happen to you that are very shocking touching Izuku's face. Izuku. Seriously like what confused. Tsubaki. Why am I seeing that you will know a horrible truth that would change your life forever? Izuku. I see. Tsubaki. And I see that someone very close to you who is very special to you will die in the worst way. Izuku. QQQQ what he said shocked, who that person will be, I hope it is not Bakugo or someone very important to me said super worried. Tsubaki. Calm down Izuku I know this news is something very shocking, but nothing can change it calm down, maybe it is someone who hates you in secret or something like that. But suddenly a huge pillar falls and everything began to set fire everywhere and Izuku runs to Yuno and grabs her and gets her out of there. Izuku. Damn I left Tsubaki Yuno love you have to get out of here quickly, I'm going to save Tsubaki by activating one for all at 40%. Yuno. No Izuki please I won't leave without you. Izuku. Love go quickly before you get hurt. Yuno. No Izuki I'm not going to leave. You alone Izuku. Get out of here before you get hurt get out of here quickly listen to me damn it screaming super loud and scolding Yuno, leaving Yuno and Izuku super shocked, began to run for Tsubaki and Yuno begins to cry that Izuku scolded her and why she worried about her. Yuno. My Izuki scolded me because he wants me to be safe, but I don't want to lose my Izuki crying, and he comes up with an idea where Yuno sets fire to his arms and begins to suck the fire that was around him, thus cleaning the place leaving it dry, but little by little it was destroyed. Izuku. Hey what happened confused. Yuno. Calm down Izuki I took care of all this said smiling, seeing that the guards were slowly standing up already grabs a knife and Yuno burns them. Tsubaki. I see what happens is that someone hypnotized them someone that's why they are like that. Izuku. Better get out of here at once taking the hand of the two girls, seeing that the road was blocked and the three began to run super fast, but Izuku receives a call on his phone. Izuku. Hey Kuruno what's happening? Kuruno. Izuku get out of here the 12th is here. Izuku. The 12th. Menin. That son of a furious bitch. Izuku. What is the 12th but look at the ceiling to see a man who was writhing and two others green and blue came out and jump in front of Izuku and the girls. 12th. Hello everyone I introduce myself I am the 12th and I came for her since finally her quirk will be all mine and I will also kill them because they are friends haha well he took out two more clones. Izuku. That will never happen if we kill you first activating one for all to the maximum and Izuku and Yuno pounced on 12th, but he took out more clones in which they pounced on Izuku and Izuku would throw a powerful smash causing the clones to be destroyed and Yuno would throw fireballs burning some, but 12th took out more clones that Izuku and Yuno defeated and Izuku would throw many smash at the clones and Yuno would release too much fire, but the clones continued to multiply. Izuku. Love come I have an idea sending a clone flying. Yuno. Tell me. Izuku. Prepare a fireball something big I'm going to hit the original. Yuno. Okay love. So Yuno created a big ball of fire, and Izuku would throw a powerful smash that made all the fire spread throughout the bridge, causing the clones to burn everything and also the clones, and next to the real one Doudissimo, thus killing Doudissimo and leaving the bridge destroyed. Izuku. Very well girls, now let's get out of here. Tsubaki. Forgive me Izuku. Chapter 11. Izuku vs Tsubaki. Tsubaki. Forgive me Izuku. Izuku. How confused. Tsubaki. Ah, he screams super loud, and many guards arrive and grab Izuku, but Izuku sends them flying as does Yuno, but someone puts an anti-quirk collar on both of them, and 2 guards grab Izuku and Yuno. Izuku. Tsubaki, what's happening, what are you doing trying to get away? Tsubaki. You know Izuku, my quirk works super different from yours, because when I started to see the future of people at first I thought it was a curse, and that's why they always abused me until now, and at night different men always raped me. I tried to escape sometimes, but it was always useless, and that's why I am condemned to be here, but thanks to you, I can now be free, said smiling. Izuku. What do you plan to do with us, he said angrily and trying to activate the one for all and trying to get away. Tsubaki. What I plan to do with you is for you to be my husband and Yuno to be my successor, that is, I will give her my suffering. Izuku. Yuno. Witee screaming shocked. Izuku. But why, said annoyed. Tsubaki. Why, when I found out that you were going to come I was investigating you a little, and I discovered that you are the so-called traitor of the UA, and that they put you in Tartarus, and that now you are the girlfriend of the greatest Yandere of all. But you know one thing, I don't think you are the traitor of the UA, since you are super cute and tender for you to be a traitor in your eyes. I see that you want to be a great hero, that you want to save everyone with a smile, that's why I fell in love with you, my love, I love you very much, Izuku Midoriya said in love and approaches Izuku and gives him a kiss on the lips and puts his tongue in Izuku's mouth, leaving Yuno super shocked since they were kissing her man. Yuno Izuki said, shocked seeing how Izuku tried to get away from Tsubaki, but it was useless and the two separated, leaving a thread of saliva. Tsubaki. What delicious kisses you gave me, Izukito said in love, but she sees that Yuno tears off the hands of the 2 guards with her knife and lunges at her. Yuni. No one touches my Izuki, screaming super furious and cuts off Tsubaki's hand, causing it to bleed too much. Tsubaki. A damn bitch, guards grab her and take her to the classroom, prepare everything and take Izuku away. Izuku. No, trying to get away from the guards. Yuno. No Izuki, no, trying to get away from the guards, but everything was useless and little by little they were moving away and they took Izuku away from there and took Izuku to the back of the temple. Guard. Grab him, I'm going to break some bones, starting to hit Izuku, but Izuku would dodge them, but one knocks him to the ground making him fall, and the 2 start kicking him. But Tsubaki. Yuno. What do you plan to do to me, said nervously. Tsubaki. Oh, you know what always happened to me, which is being raped over and over again, guards now. So the guard starting to take off Yuno's clothes. Yuno. No, screaming super loud. But Izuku. Izuku was on the ground and hears Yuno scream while the guards continue to hit him. Izuku. Damn sons of bitches, he said furiously and grabbing the foot of one and sends him crashing against some rocks with his strength. He punches the other that breaks his nose and knocks him out, and Izuku takes off his anti-quirk necklace and activates one for all to the maximum and runs until he reached Yuno, where he takes out many black whips, where he decapitates some guards and pierces others, taking out the intestines of the guards until Izuku reaches where Yuno is. Izuku. Love, calm down, I'm here, he said hugging her and putting on his black sweatshirt. Calm down, I'm here, nothing is going to happen to you. Tsubaki. Very cute and everything, but you are mine, lunging at Izuku, but Izuku punches her that sends her far away. Izuku. Stupid that you will never understand that I already have a girlfriend, said annoyed. Tsubaki. Then die with her, taking out a knife. Izuku and Tsubaki pounced on each other and Izuku tried to hit Tsubaki with a one for all to the maximum, but Tsubaki would dodge Izuku's attacks very easily and his knife would stick in some part of Izuku, drawing some blood, and Izuku would take out many whips that tried to catch Tsubaki, making Tsubaki worry a little more because the whips were very fast and Tsubaki would dodge the whips with difficulty, but suddenly a whip came out of the ground, making me cut Tsubaki's throat, causing her to bleed too much, and Tsubaki falls to the ground while bleeding from her throat and Izuku and Yuno approach her. Izuku. I'm very sorry Tsubaki, but I already have someone in my life. Tsubaki. Calm down Izuku, me too sorry for trying to kill you, no thanks for beating my heart again, thanks to you I fell in love again, my life was shit, but at least I'll be happy somewhere else, while crying making Izuku shed some tears. Izuku. Forgive me Tsubaki. Tsubaki. I forgive you Izuku-kun and thank you for giving me my first kiss and thank you for freeing me from this hell that I call life, but at least I'll be better off in another dimension and sorry for trying to kill you, said super hurt while taking more blood from her throat. I forgive you and everything. Tsubaki. By the way Izuku, soon you will know something that will change your life and that the person is Brown the person. Izuku. Okay. Tsubaki. Goodbye Izuku Midoriya, Yuno Gasai, I hope you have a great life as a husband because I saw your future together and discovered that you would get married and have too many children, I don't know how many, but there will be many she said smiling painfully. Izuku. Thank you very much for see our future said smiling and bringing out more tears. Tsubaki. Goodbye to both of you, take care of yourself she said smiling, and in that Tsubaki explodes into 1,000 pieces and a black hole is formed and disappears, thus dying Tsubaki and the guards come out of their trance and everyone when they see the room they run out of there, as well as Izuku and Yuno. Kuruno. Finally I find you, come on get in the car, quickly getting into Izuku and Yuno and runs off to look for Minin and Izuku and Yuno were in the car and Yuno puts her head on Izuku's shoulder. Izuku. I'm sorry love for what they were about to do to you, sorry, I should have gotten away from those two damn people, sorry, but he shuts up when he receives a kiss from Yuno that Izuku reciprocates. Calm down Izuku, at least we are both together now and even more so since we will be together forever and we will have more children, he said smiling, giving Izuku another kiss. Izuku. That's why I love you so much, my love reciprocates the kiss while caressing her ear and her hair and the two separate with a thread of saliva and Kuruno and Minin get in the car. Minin. Start now. So Kuruno began to drive while they watched as some police officers and heroes arrived at the place while they left the place. Minin. I'm sorry for having mentioned your ex-boyfriend, sorry, apologizing a little upset since Kuruno forced her. It's okay, I forgive you she said smiling. Minin. But a question, what happened to your ex-boyfriend, curious. The truth is I don't know and I'm not interested. Kuruno. What happened is that he survived the stabbings, I went to see him and he's still alive even though I don't know how, but he's still alive. Wow, what a strong boy that if he could withstand your stabbings even though I feel like he didn't get too much. Izuku. In his case I would rip his balls off and aria him to swallow them he said calmly, scaring everyone with what Izuku said. Chapter 12 The Horrible Truth. I would spend the days in which Izuku and Yuno were super calm since what happened to Tsubaki, that is something that maybe was right since she suffered too much to the point that she wanted to commit suicide for what she always suffered for, that they did not feel bad, rather they were happy to see her out of that hell, that is why they did not feel so bad, and in these days all the heroes were super confused by what happened in the temple since the destruction of the temple was very great and they found almost everything destroyed and they arrested 40 members of the temple, the same people who abused Tsubaki, giving life sentences to everyone, and in these days Izuku was almost always looking for his mother since it has been too many days in which he does not know anything about his mother. He has called her thousands of times on her phone, but she did not answer. He went to look for her at her work, but nothing. No trace of her. This made Izuku worry since he did not know where she was, and even worse, he thought she had left the state or the country, forever making him worry since he didn't know where she would be, but he didn't care and continued looking for his mother every day and more at night, where he was always looking everywhere, and in the process he caught the villains that were loose in the streets. That's why many villains almost didn't go out on the streets for fear of Izuku since Izuku half killed them, the villains. And what do they do now? This time we will go to the Ua. Avua. Everyone was the most normal, living together peacefully, but Izuku's real friends were separated from the traitors. Mineta. Finally, one more year and we will become great heroes. Mina. Yes, I already want to be a great heroine, said happily. Toru. The best thing is that we will be great heroes, not like the traitor. Haminari. If that traitor was always weak, said mockingly. Iida. I don't know why you noticed that useless love if he never held you rich. Uraraka. I only wanted him for his money, nothing else. I never liked him, and also one day his fat mother told me that she gave me her blessing to marry her useless son. In that moment, I wanted to laugh at what that bitch said, he said mockingly, but received a blow from Bakugo. Bakugo? What did you call my aunt? Said furiously. Uraraka. That she is a whore if she is a whore, and what she said with impudence, making Bakugo angry and begins to hit Uraraka, but was stopped by Kirishima and Todoroki. Kirishima. Already bro, it's not worth it. Todoroki. It's true, it's not worth it, seeing the two it would be. Bakugo. If you say something about my aunt again I swear I'll kill you, said angrily. Uraraka. There, yes, that fear. But suddenly the TV transmission would be cut off and the screen showed All for One. Afo. Hello everyone, it's me, All for One. How long has it been? A year without seeing you, and can I ask you a question? Remember the boy Izuku Midoriya, he said calmly, making everyone too angry for remembering Izuku, including All Might. Afo. Well, it seems that if they remembered him, and what would happen if I told them that he was never the traitor, he said calmly, confused to everyone. Shigaraki. Surely they will say that we are lying, but look. Putting a video where he showed how they were making the anonymous video of how Toga took Izuku's blood and how Twice creates Izuku's clones. This made everyone in shock by what they saw. Afo. Do you know, when he arrived in Tartarus we tried to get him to join us, but what surprised me is that he never accepted. It is clear that even if they betrayed him, he was still a great hero, putting a video of how he was tortured until exhaustion, leaving him badly injured. Afo. And even worse, he helped a girl who was in the same cell. Wow, great hero. Putting the video where Yuno was going to get raped, but Izuku saved her from those villains. That made everyone completely shocked why Izuku never betrayed them and was always a great hero all this time. Afo. They see all this with their eyes open. Japan, they betrayed an innocent boy who never had anything to do with us. What idiots you all were, he said mockingly, and the transmission cuts out, leaving everyone in shock. Narrator. Everyone was crying for what they saw on television. Everyone was crying. Why? Because of him. Izuku. Maybe he would be a villain who would take revenge on everyone. Izuku. Seriously, they regretted it so quickly. Really, they realized their stupidity so quickly, he said seriously, since he saw it all on a big screen on the roof of a building. Mina. But what did we do? Crying. Mineta. But what have we done? Iida. It can't be. Uraraka. No, what have I done? Why am I stupid? Why did she say, crying? Akugu. And now you regret it, bitch. Tell me how it feels to know the sad reality that Izuku already has someone else, said angrily. Jiru. Yes, I bet that girl loved him too much, something that you never did. Momo. I'm glad that Izuku got someone else. Sai. I hope they are happy. Izuku and the girl said seriously. But the teachers. All the teachers were gathered and saw the entire TV broadcast, and they were all crying because of the huge mistake they all made, except Midnight, Aizawa and Nezu, who were happy because Izuku's innocence was finally discovered. Present Mick. But what have we done? La King. We have been deceived. Almight. I can't believe I betrayed my successor, he said, crying inconsolably, but receives a whiplash from Midnight. Midnight. We told you, but you never listened to us. Aizawa. Seriously, you regret it so quickly. What a master you are. Apart from what a master betrays his successor for something he never did. Serious, seeing All Might. All Might. Quickly go find young Midoriya. Chapter 13, Izuku vs All for One. All Might. Quickly go find young Midoriya. All. Hi. So all the teachers leave the UA, including the students of class 2A, and they all quickly went to find Izuku, and Izuku was looking through the roof of the building that everyone was looking for them. Izuku. Seriously, so fast they cared about everyone. Well, not even when I was in Tartarus, they would visit me. Well, only my mom, and for some strange reason they never let it happen. That is strange, seeing how some heroes were looking for him and some people were crying. Narrator. All the heroes were looking for Izuku everywhere, but they couldn't find anything. No trace of Izuku anywhere. They were all completely desperate. Why couldn't they find him anywhere? All Might. Where will he be? Young Midoriya said desperately. Iida. Maybe he may be in a super hidden place in a place, but it can't be far away. Haminari. Maybe he's in the forest. All. It's true, the forest. All Might. Quickly, let's go to the forest. There he may be there. Let's go quickly. So everyone goes to the forest, where they were looking everywhere where they went for the surroundings until they saw a huge warehouse. All Might. Maybe he's here. Uraraka. Let's go in once and for all, opening the door, where she was very surprised to see that there were too many Nomas, and everyone gets scared to see too many high-end Nomas. Hiroshima. But what is this place? But they hear some footsteps where everyone is on alert, where from the shadows All for One comes out calmly. Afo. Well, but if I have visitors. Beast Jeans. Now we will kill you, taking out his white threads where he ties him. Mountain Lady. Hey wait, it might hurt you too much. Beast Jeans. I don't care, adjusting his grip more, and in that All for One would launch a huge airwave, making everyone fly and destroy the machines where they had the powerful high-end Nomas, making a huge hole in the floor. Afo. Shigaraki, I am very proud of you. Making that video was the best thing that has occurred to you. I am very happy. Shigaraki. Thanks, Dad. Afo. Well, let the defeat of the heroes begin. So they all attacked each other, but unfortunately for the heroes they were already losing, that there were too many Nomas that were super powerful, more than the top heroes, thus finishing off all the heroes, leaving All Might and Afo in the center. But All Might was super weak in his skeletal form and was spitting too much blood, and Afo was as if nothing had happened. Afo. This is funny, look at yourself. All Might, you are super hurt and very weak. This is incredible, but you know one thing, if there was a traitor you can come now. To everyone's surprise and anger, seeing someone walk like this, All for One, and stands in front of him. Haminari. Can I stop pretending now? He said, something annoyed. Afo. Yes, you can stop pretending now. Haminari. Finally. All Might. Young Kaminari, why did you do it? He said crying. Kaminari. Why are heroes idiots, bucking imbeciles who are so easy to fool, wow, how they fell round, he said smiling mockingly. Afo. Enough now growing his arm, time to die, throwing his arm and All Might closes his eyes to receive the attack, but nothing happened, and he opens them showing that someone was stopping the blow, and sends the punch flying, grabbing everyone with black whips, and sending everyone to a safe place. Mirko. But who is that, she said in pain since she had a broken leg. Afo. Who the hell did that? Izuku. It was me coming out of the smoke, surprising everyone. All. Midoriya Deku-kun Izuku. Afo. Wow, if you came, tell me why, better not. You join us so you can get revenge on everyone and especially on your mother, he said calmly confused to Izuku. Izuku. How do you avenge my mother, confused. Afo. That Shigaraki didn't tell you. Izuku. What thing confused? Afo. That he saw that 3 people he didn't recognize beat her, raped her, and killed her and left her body in a dark alley. That shocked Izuku a lot since he didn't think that the woman he loved the most in his entire life was dead, and Izuku just lowers his head and begins to shed tears since Tsubaki was right, he was going to bury some news that would change his life forever. Afo. What a shame that bitch died, he said mockingly, making Izuku hear it, and his anger increased too much. Afo. It would have been me who would kill her, but I think they got ahead of me, but something pierces his stomach that it was Izuku who had one for all at maximum and sends him crashing into too many trees. Izuku. You're going to pay for saying that and I'll kill you, he said furiously and shedding some tears. Kaminari. How dare you hurt my teacher, but Izuku punches him and rips his head off causing him to die instantly. Shigaraki. Miserable piece of shit lunging at Izuku, but Izuku would throw a powerful smash that sends him far away, and Dabi would throw fireballs at him, but Izuku would dodge it and kick him that sends him far away, and Izuku lunged at Shigaraki, but Kurogiri arrives and takes them to the entire League of Villains. Afo. Enough healing, time to die. So Izuku and Afo rushed at each other, and the two began to clash fists making large air waves, while Izuku took out many whips that pierced Afo, but Afo at one point activates a quirk that makes everything shake making Izuku distracted and takes advantage of that and gives him a big punch that sends him super far crashing him against some trees, making them break instantly impacting everyone, since the blow was so hard that it maybe dislocated some bones, and everyone looked horrified at how Izuku received a big beating while everyone watched this on television, and Yuno and Eri watched this on the TV in the house, and Yuno was bringing tears to her eyes at how they made her Izuku suffer, and Eri was crying inconsolably in Yuno's chest while she tried to calm her. And Afo. I think he's already dead, what a shame for him, it was clear that he wanted to be a great hero anyway, what was he up to? But everyone shuts up when they see a huge blue light. It was seen all over the place, and then a huge lightning bolt runs towards Afo and Afo quickly reacts, and the two collided their fists, making a huge airwave. Afo. I see you already mastered one for all to perfection. I will take away that damn quirk, said Izuku angrily. No, because I promised Nana that I would kill you by punching her in the face. And today will be your last day on Earth, angrily sending Afo flying. Afo. Enough, making his arm grow and throws it like that Izuku, but Izuku disappears. Afo. Where did he go? But he was completely in shock since Izuku was plummeting towards Afo with one for all to the maximum. Izuku. See you never, all for one, giving him a super punch that sends him to the ground and buries him in the ground and gives him a punch so hard that it makes a huge smoke screen making everyone fly away and nothing could be seen. Ryukyu. Who one said in pain. Mountain Lady. I can't see anything, wiping the blood from her head. Gran Torino. Who one trying to see. At that the smoke began to disperse, seeing Izuku who was standing there, but something that surprised them all and horrified them was that All for One's head was completely destroyed, just seeing that the brain was super destroyed, except for his entire body, only the head, so Izuku finished off All for One forever, and thus ending All for One's reign, and Izuku falls to his knees and begins to cry inconsolably, since Tsubaki was completely right, a horrible truth would come to him sooner or later, and the day was the day and Izuku was crying on the ground. Izuku. Mom, sniff sniff, why you sniff, you had nothing to do with this sniff, why was it you instead of me, he said crying inconsolably, but look how all the heroes were approaching him, including All Might, and Izuku activates one for all to the maximum and runs super fast until he got to his house, where upon entering he saw Yuno and Eri quite worried, and Izuku just lowers his head and Yuno and Eri hug him, and Izuku begins to cry inconsolably at the news of his mother because he could not believed that his mother was dead, and Yuno shed tears because his mother-in-law was dead, and Eri also cried because her grandmother was dead. Chapter 14. A normal day. 2 weeks would pass in which all of Japan was completely shocked by the news that Izuku Midoriya single-handedly killed All For One, and finally All For One's reign was over, and the villains were always hidden, since now they were too afraid of Izuku, since he finished off the #1 villain in Japan, something that terrified them too much for fear of meeting Izuku in the streets, and in these weeks, the entire UA was with their heads to the floor, since they had betrayed their best friend except Izuku's real friend, since they were super happy that the information about their friend was finally revealed after a long time, and even more so because they felt that Yuno would be the best girlfriend in the world for Izuku, and in these weeks Izuku was completely depressed. These 2 weeks he didn't sleep. He didn't eat, he only trained, and Yuno and Eri were super worried about what was happening. Izuku tried everything to make him happy, but nothing. His shine had gone out forever, but Yuno saw something that we'll never forget for anything in the world. Flashback. We see Yuno super worried since Izuku left at 7:30 and it was already 12:30 at night, something that worried her a lot. Yuno. Not there because he doesn't arrive. What happened to him? Something happened to him. Didn't the ugly one happen to Izuku there? I don't have to go looking for him. Eri, stay here in case dad comes, putting on a black sweatshirt and a black wig so they don't recognize her. Eri. Okay mom. Yuno leaves the apartment and began to run to look for Izuku in the city. Izuku went to the center where she couldn't find him, but she had an idea that Izuku might be in the forest, so she quickly went to the forest where she was getting deeper and deeper, but she was surprised since there were many destroyed or broken trees, or split in half the further she went into the forest, until she saw something that surprised her a lot, since there was Izuku in front of a super big and thick tree, but what broke her heart was that Izuku's arms were super broken and full of blood, completely purple, while he had the one for all to the maximum. Izuku. No, I should not give up. I already lost my mother because I am weak, and I do not want to lose my girlfriend and my daughter. Furious, shedding many tears. And that Izuku gave a big hit to the tree, making him scream heartbreakingly, since his arms were broken, and falls to the ground where he begins to cry inconsolably. Izuku. Why me? Why me? Sniff, 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 sniff. Why is this happening to me? Sniff, sniff. I don't want to suffer anymore. Sniff. I don't want to lose my beautiful girl. Sniff. Nor my wife. Sniff, sniff. I don't want to lose my family. Crying inconsolably, and Yuno was shocked and was crying silently, since what Izuku said touched her heart, since her Izuku was afraid of losing them, since now Yuno and Eri were his family, and Yuno comes out of the bushes and runs to Izuku and hugs him very tightly. Izuku. Seeing that it was Yuno, hugs her very tightly and begins to cry inconsolably in Yuno's chest while he hugged her very tightly, draining her of blood, but Yuno didn't care. Yuno. No my love, I will never leave you alone because I truly love you. I love you so much to the point that if you cry I cry, and we will never abandon you, me and my daughter, since we really love you very much, and more your daughter since you are her father loves you like a father, seriously your daughter, and I love you very much with all our soul. That is why we will never abandon you, since now I am your wife forever. Love, she said crying, and gives him a kiss of pure love, affection and passion that she felt for Izuku while remembering all the happy moments they spent and more, their first date and the two separate with a thread of saliva. Yuno. Well love, let's go, your daughter is waiting for you, wiping away her tears, but she couldn't because the tears wouldn't stop coming out, and she carries Izuku by her shoulders, and the two leave the forest where they arrived at her house, where Yuno takes him to the bathroom and begins to bathe him, removing all the blood that had a lot of blood, and Yuno held back the urge to do it in the bathroom with Izuku and ends up putting comfortable clothes on him and takes him to the kitchen where she would feed him. She would feed him like a little child. Then they went to sleep where Yuno hugged him with much love while she cuddled him in his ear to make him sleep well. Yuno. I will not let you be unhappy, I will always be with you so that you are happy my love, giving him a kiss. End of flashback. Since that day Yuno was super motivated to make Izuku happy, and little by little she achieved it, but she never gave up. And what does our family do now? Narrator. We see Izuku and Yuno sleeping peacefully, but Izuku feels something that was super soft and squeezes it, hearing a moan, and Izuku wakes up completely. Izuku. That I'm grabbing, confused, but he would blush too much since he was seeing that he was grabbing Yuno's chest, but Yuno had his hands tightly grabbing Izuku's right hand so that he doesn't let go and continues grabbing his chest. Yuno. So Izuku continues squeezing, sleeping happily. Izuku. Ah, screaming a little, removing his hand. Yuno. Oh good morning Izuku, giving him a kiss. Izuku. Hey love, why don't you have your pan? Yuno. It's in case you wanted to do it at midnight, since my body is all yours love, he said smiling, making Izuku blush. Izuku. Well let's get up since Eri is already awake, hearing that Eri was watching TV. Yuno. Okay, putting on her white pants. Izuku. And what do you want for breakfast? Yuno. No love, I'll make breakfast, you're still bandaged, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Izuku. Okay, leaving the room seeing that Eri was watching Frozen. Good morning daughter, giving her a kiss on the cheek, sitting next to him. Eri. Good morning daddy, giving him a kiss on the cheek, are you better now? Your arms are better. Izuku. Yes, I am much better, but they still hurt, but not as much because I am very strong, said smiling. Eri. I see dad watching the movie. Izuku. I honestly love this movie watching the movie. Eri. Yes, but I do not like Prince Hans. Izuku. Neither do I since I never loved Anna watching the movie. Eri. The good thing is that in the 2 he does not appear. Izuku. Yes, good that he will never appear. 5 minutes later. You know. Breakfast is ready. Izuku. Wait, love the movie is super good watching the movie from the beginning. You know. Izuku, you saw it twice. Izuku. But Eri and Amma, we love the song I Am Free much more. Eri. Free I am I can't hide it anymore. You know. How about if you have breakfast first and then watch it after you finish? Izuku. Okay, pausing the movie and going to breakfast where Yuno grabs some pancakes and puts them in front of Izuku. You know. Okay love, it's time for breakfast, let's eat, bringing him the fork. Izuku. But love, I can do it myself, a little blushing. You know. Come on, open your mouth, here comes the little plane bringing him the fork and Izuku eats it, here comes another plane bringing him the fork. Izuku. Love, I'll do it alone. You know. Open your mouth, here comes the little plane bringing him the fork, feeding him like a little kid. Izuku. Stop love, haha, laughing a little and Yuno stands up. You know. Izuki, I know this is sudden, but can we go for a walk? It's been a long time since we left the house, we can go to the movies to see the one from A Strange World, it's that my daughter and I want to see it, please, moving her hands and legs in a tender way. Izuku. Okay love, he said smiling. You know. Thanks love, giving her a kiss, in the meantime you can watch Frozen while I take a bath. Izuku. Okay, but finish your breakfast. You know. Oh that's right, finishing her breakfast in a rush, well now I'm going to take a bath, she said happily, and Izuku gathers the dishes and starts to wash them, while Eri was watching Frozen and Yuno was in the bathroom scrubbing her body, but she starts laughing in a macabre way. You know. Hehehehe, if I kill the people who killed my mother-in-law, maybe Izuku will love me much more and propose to me, hahaha, laughing like crazy, luckily it couldn't be heard since the sound of the water, so it wouldn't be heard. 40 minutes later. We see Yuno with a bright blue dress, a small light pink sweater, and some pink Converse, and Eri had a white sweater and some dark blue pants and some black Converse, and they were waiting for Izuku. You know. Your dad is taking too long playing with his fingers, seeing that he didn't leave the room. Izuku. I already arrived, leaving the room where he had a black button-down shirt, black pants, and black Converse. You know. You look super handsome, Izuku, giving him a kiss. Izuku. Let's go right away, leaving the house where Izuku and his family get off and arrived like this car that Izuku had since it was his mother's car, and they get in. Thus beginning to drive very calmly, luckily nobody recognized them until they arrived at the cemetery where everyone gets off and Izuku bought some super large flowers, like that, entering the cemetery since Bakugo told him where they buried her, luckily he didn't tell anyone where she was and they arrived at Inko's tombstone. Izuku. Hello mom, smiling, putting the flowers. Eri. Dad, this is my grandma. Izuku. Yes, she is your grandma, but now she is up there with a little angel, sad, but Yuno hugs him. Eri. Hello grandma, I hope you are well in heaven like me, I'll be fine down here, he said smiling, making Izuku and Yuno smile. 10 minutes later. Izuku. Okay, family, let's go, let's let your grandma rest. Eri. Goodbye, grandma. So the three of them leave the cemetery and go inside and get to their car where they all get in. Izuku. Very well, let's go to the movies at once, curious. Yuno. Let's go quickly, we still have tickets. Izuku. Okay, starting the car where Izuku began to drive calmly. Yuno. Can I put on a song, Izuki? Izuku. Of course. Yuno puts it to God, I ask him. On this channel we love Wayne's. Izuku. I'll put mine by putting a black shirt. Yuno. But why are you mourning if I'm here? He said smiling. Izuku. I mean, my shirt is completely black. Yuno. Oh, I understand. I'll put the pay, putting the pay. That's how it went all the way with pure Wayne's songs until they arrived at a square where they got off. Yuno. Come on my love, I want to see the movie, he said happily. Izuku. Let's go, taking Yuno and Eri's hand, we started to enter where they went quickly to the cinema and arrived at the cinema. Izuku. Good, where do you want to see it? Curious. Yuno. In 4D, he said happily. Izuku. Calm down love, let's go, he said smiling and going to the ticket office. Employee. Hello friend, which movie do you want to see? Izuku. Hello, give me 3 tickets for A Strange World for 4D, and can you give me the tickets for the back seats please? This boy will never be forgotten. Izuku. We are not going to do that, besides we have a little girl blushing. Employee. I was just joking, friend, giving her his tickets, enjoy the movie. Izuku. Thank you very much taking the tickets going with your family, love what do you want? Some big popcorn love. Izuku. Okay going to buy the popcorn and the shopping. Let's go quickly love it's going to start said happily. Izuku. Okay let's go to the room where you sit. At that moment gives him a big kiss that expressed all the love he felt since they met a great Yandere love. I love you very much my love. Izuku. I love you too, giving you a kiss. Thus beginning the movie where they had a great time. I know it has not been released yet, but I think it will be good, but I think the protagonist, according to what they say, the boy is gay. Thus ending the movie. Izuku. The boy was always gay. To be honest, I liked it and more the gay boy. Izuku. So good to me but the characters seem recycled, the truth. At least it was good what matters well let's go since they are almost closing the cinema. So our family left the cinema and got into their car where they arrived at their house since it was night since time went by very quickly they arrived at their house where they entered and put Eri to bed and cover her up since she was super asleep and go to her room. This was the best date ever, love, thank you very much, she said smiling, but Izuku throws her onto the bed. Lemon skipped. So having a night passionate. Chapter 15 Izuku Yuno vs Ryosuke. The next day. We see our family walking quietly through the streets of Japan. Ready to go to school Eri. Eri. Yes mom. Izuku. Well you already have everything daughter. Eri. Yes dad. Izuku. Well behave and I will buy you everything you want said smiling. Eri. Thanks dad. So walking until they arrived at school. Well daughter behave well have a nice day said happily. Eri. Goodbye mommy goodbye dad. Izuku Goodbye daughter have a nice day they said happily crouching down to Eri's height giving her a kiss on her cheeks and Eri happily enters school while her parents watched her. God she is growing a lot wiping away her tears. Yes and I already want her to be a great heroine said smiling. Well love go home since I'm going to the supermarket to do the shopping. Izuku. Okay love well I make dinner. Okay giving her a kiss and the two went on different paths where Izuku was walking calmly until he arrived home where he goes up the stairs he arrived at his house but sees something that confuses him since there was someone small knocking on the door. Izuku. Excuse me can I help you confused? Oh you live here? Izuku. Yes why? Oh how good it is here Izuku. Who are you seriously? My name is Ryosuke Yuno's friend. Izuku. Really are you his friend surprised? Ryosuke. Yes since after jail I didn't see her much but finally she's out now I can see her said happily. Izuku. So you have known her for a long time? Ryosuke. Yes why am I his friend? Izuku. Well then, come in, opening the door to your house, please come in. Ryosuke. Thank you very much, coming in, your house is so beautiful. Izuku. Thank you very much, discreetly closing the door. Ryosuke. Wow, I already knew that Yuno was already a mother, but not at a very young age. Izuku. No, she is not our daughter, but not by blood, but adopted, smiling. Ryosuke. And what are we going to do? Izuku. Maybe we watch a movie while we wait for Yuno. Ryosuke. Okay but a question where is Yuno? Izuku. She hasn't arrived yet since she went shopping, but you can wait for her. While we watch a movie he said smiling, do you want to see my fish? Ryosuke. Sure. Izuku took him to his fish tank. Ryosuke. Wow they are surprised vein fish, they are great. Izuku. Yes thanks the yellow one is called Jeffrey and the other blue one is called John said smiling. Ryosuke. Why don't you have more fish? Izuku. Very soon I will buy more smiling, but Izuku takes out a whip and grabs some handcuffs that were around. Ryosuke. Why those names? Izuku. Well I thought they were cute more Jeffrey. Ryosuke. Sounds like names of murderers. Izuku. I know that Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy were monsters, but maybe they suffered from a big mental problem, so maybe they are already in heaven forgiven by God. Ryosuke. Maybe yes. At that Izuku he puts a handcuff on Ryosuke's right wrist. Ryoko. What are you doing? Izuku. Nothing I was just playing. Ryosuke. What the hell? Izuku. It's that I wanted to play cops and robbers. Ryosuke. What if I come back in a little while he was about to leave, but Izuku stops him. Izuku. Hey wait, how about we play something else, I don't know, Mortal Kombat or God of War Ragnarok, the new one that came out said smiling. Ryosuke. No thanks friend, I better go, he was about to leave, but Izuku takes him by the arm and pushes him. Ryosuke. Hey, what are you doing, annoying, but but Izuku punches him in the stomach, making him complain, and Ryosuke gets up, but Izuku punches him in the nose making him scream, but Izuku covers his mouth. Izuku. Shut up you stupid piece of shit annoying and throws it, and Ryosuke was going to escape, but Izuku grabs a sharp knife. Ryosuke. No please with fear. Izuku. Bucking idiot how do you know where I live what is my wife's name and how do you know that we are parents? Ryosuke. I can explain it with fear please don't kill me. Izuku. Come here annoyed going to the room where the two enter Izuku's room. Izuku. Sit on the bed annoyed. Ryosuke. It's okay sitting down and Izuku turns on his TV and grabs a disc putting it in the movie player. Ryosuke. What are you going to do confused and scared? Izuku. I already told you, we'll stay here, we'll watch a movie, turning on the TV, until Yuno arrives and then we'll talk. Ryosuke said sinisterly. Which one will we watch with fear? Izuku. The one from The Exorcist 3 I really love that movie, also Jeffrey Dahmer. Ryosuke sees something next to him, something that terrifies him since he was seeing a blue barrel. Ryosuke. Hey friend, what's that, scared? Izuku. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen, pressing himself but slowly grabbing the knife. Ryosuke. Hey friend, let's put on another movie, it's just that I don't like scary movies with more fear. Izuku. Rot, grabbing the knife and stabbing him in the back, making Ryosuke scream, but he pokes Izuku's eye, making him scream in pain. Ryosuke wanted to leave, but Izuku stops him. Izuku. Where the hell are you going? I was upset and was about to kill him, but someone comes in. Yuno. Love, I'm here and I brought your chicken wings, your favorites, he said smiling, but he remains in shock. Ryosuke. Yuno. Ryosuke surprised. Ryosuke. I finally found you my friend said smiling, but Yuno pounced on Ryosuke, but Ryosuke takes out his quirk which is a gas that makes you sleep making Izuku fall asleep. Yuno. Love covering her mouth. Ryosuke. What a crazy bucking boyfriend she has in pain. Yuno. Come on love dragging Izuku taking him to the room. Ryosuke. I have to get out of here trying to open the door, damn how I hate being small, and where the buck is the key he put triple locks on the door annoying. Yuno. Love wakes up shaking Izuku, shit he's super asleep, but what does it matter, I'll finish that idiot annoying leaving the room covering his mouth coming out with a knife, but Ryosuke stabs his knife in Yuno's leg, making him scream in pain. Ryosuke. Do you still remember my truth? Yuno. You damn because of you Yukitaro was unfaithful to me, but thanks to that deception, I already have a new love who loves me too much, giving him a cut on the hand, and Ryosuke stabs his knife in Yuno's leg making him scream, but he kicks him making him spit blood, and Ryosuke began to stab Yuno which she would dodge easily, until Izuku arrives and stabs his knife in Ryosuke's chest, causing him to bleed too much. Ryosuke. Hey friend, wait, maybe we can be friends until the end with fear. Izuku. This is the end, friend, grabbing him by the throat and ripping out his Adam's apple, causing him to bleed too much and die quickly, and Izuku was holding back from breathing, he grabs Yuno, quickly opening the door, and the two of them come out gasping for air. Yuno. Thank you my love for rescuing me, breathing heavily. Izuku. I do it because I love you very much. Yuno. What are we going to do with a tired body? But Izuku gets up. Izuku. Leave that to me he said sinisterly grabbing a cigarette putting it in his mouth, lighting it staring into space while smoking. Yuno. Okay well I try to get all the gas out now before Eri came home from school tired. Already at night. We see Izuku with some small bags arriving at a garbage dump where he throws the bag along with a blue barrel and leaves from there what he didn't know is that some people saw him and ran away to the UA. Chapter 16. Unpleasant reunion. The next day. We see our family at their most peaceful today was Saturday, and they were resting from everything Izuku was making breakfast Yuno was doing housework, and Eri was calm, watching TV our family was very calm until someone knocks on the door. Izuku. It's sure the landlady how strange if we paid last week confused. Yuno. I open it turning off the vacuum cleaner goes to the door where she opens it taking a big surprise seeing some people in front of her, but what surprised her is that there was Uraraka. Yuno. Who are you? Would it be seeing Uraraka? Uraraka. I am Ichako Uraraka and who are you? Yuno. I am Izuku's wife. Would it be? Uraraka. But if Izuku and I are still boyfriends, she said annoyed. Yuno. And that would be. Uraraka. Seriously who are you and why are you in my house? Yuno. Why is it my house here I live with my husband and if you say again that you are Izuku's girlfriend, I will break every bone you have super would be scaring Uraraka. Izuku. Who is love going to the door but sees some of his companions. Izuku. But how confused but Izuku's true friends run to him and hug him very tightly. Hiroshima. Bro we finally found you. Momo. You're finally here. Jiru. You're finally out of that hell. Todoroki. It's good to see you again. Seiya. You're finally with us. Akugu. You're finally back with us brother. Izuku. It's good to see you again friends. Midnight. Izuku is finally back hugging him, sorry for not helping you that day. Izuku. Don't worry Midnight sensei I forgive her said smiling. Izawa. My offspring I'm glad you're free and also sorry for not helping you that day. Izuku. Don't worry Izawa sensei I forgive you. If Nezu arrives. Nezu. Hello young Midoriya. Izuku. Hello Director Nezu how did you find me curious? Nezu. Someone saw you throwing away some garbage bags that were the young Mineta and the young Ishido saw it and went to it to warn us. Izuku. I see now why they came curious. Nezu. We want you to return to Izuku. No. That left everyone surprised by Izuku's response. Uraraka. But why Deku-kun? Izuku. Why now I have a job that suits me well I am the hero I always dreamed of, since I do true justice, the truth is that I am fine with my life, since I am one step away from becoming a great hero, apart from that I am no longer Deku if not Mirai Nikki. Mirai Nikki fans. Nezu. Are you sure? Izuku. Yes very sure besides now I have a family and I want to be with them, that's why I don't want to return to the UA thank you very much Director Nezu, but I will not return. Nezu. Do not worry young Midoriya I understand your understanding, but take giving you a medal, it is the medal for the best hero in the world that you are young Midoriya thank you very much we appreciate it for killing the #1 villain, really thank you very much bowing. Izuku. Thank you very much for this medal said smiling. Nezu. Well young Midoriya we retire and whenever you want you can register again at the UA said smiling. Iida. That's all they will only give you one medal and already angry. Nezu. Why does he deserve it? Iida. But I wanted him to come back to the UA so that he can give me his quirk. Izuku. Correction it is my quirk so do not be bucking around goodbye everyone I was going to close the door, but Iida stops him. Iida. Listen to me one thing you stupid shit are you going to come back UA whether you want it or not angry? Izuku. Buck off annoyed. Iida. You know why don't we fix it with a fight angry? Izuku. A serious fight. Iida. If you win you won't come back to the UA and we will leave you alone, but if we win you will come back to the UA and give us your forgiveness and your quirk super annoying. Izuku. Okay, but only if you stop bucking me angrily. 30 minutes later. We see Izuku in his hero suit while Yuno was stretching with his heroine suit while everyone was stretching while Midnight was taking care of Eri and Izuku's true friends did not participate since they understood seeing his decision of the green-haired. Iida. When I'm done with you all the one for all will be for me. Izuku. If what you say well we'll wait. And that Zero grabs Izuku with his ribbons and Sato takes advantage and gets strong, but Izuku easily breaks the ribbons and punches Sato so hard that he sends him to crash into a wall and take the opportunity to kick Zero, but Mineta takes advantage and runs towards Yuno, but Yuno throws a fireball at him sending him flying and Aoyama would throw a large lightning bolt, but Yuno would throw several fireballs at him and Izuku knocks out Aoyama and Hagakure and Izuku took a big jump kicking Tokoyami. And Izuku did a spin kicking Mina and only Iida and Uraraka remained. Yuno. I will break every damn bone damn it for saying that. Uraraka. Not if I do it first and I am the mother of that little girl and Deku-kun comes back to me said angrily. Yuno. You've already tired of me furiously throwing herself at Uraraka. Iida. Only you and I are left. Izuku. Let's see who of the two is strong. And that Iida runs to Izuku and kicks him, but Izuku easily stops him and sends him crashing against a wall, but Iida gives him a smash that sends Izuku flying, but Izuku would take out his whips tying him up and gives him a punch so hard that it breaks his nose and Iida kicks him in the stomach, making all the air go out, but Izuku gives him a punch that sends him flying crashing him against a wall, but Iida stops he was going to punch Izuku, but Izuku goes ahead and kicks him in the stomach causing them to vomit blood and be sent very far crashing into a wall knocking him out. Izuku. You were always the weakest of all seriously, but see Yuno throwing fireballs at Uraraka which she would dodge, but a ball of fire sending her crashing against a wall and Yuno gets in front of her. Yuno. Let it be very clear to you, I am Yuno Midoriya Gasai, Izuku's wife, she said macabrely and taking out a lot of fire from her hands and was about to make a fireball, but Izuku stopped her. Yuno. Hey Izuki. Izuku. No love is not worth it why the two of us are together, that is what matters smiling. Yuno. Okay Izuki turning off his hands. Izuku. We are done seriously and going to the locker room with Eri. Nezu. The young Midoriya became super strong and not to mention his partner. Midnight. The good thing about all this is that they are good he said smiling. Izawa. take my entire class to the infirmary, he said, disappointed in his students for fighting with Izuku. 30 minutes later. We see our family walking peacefully. Mind of Yuno. I will not let anyone get close to my Izuki and more Uraraka for anything in the world. I should never leave my Izuki alone for anything in the world. Out of Izuku's mind. Izuku. And what do you want to do now, love? Yuno. Why don't we go to the Italian pizza, she said, smiling. Eerie. Pizza with stars in her eyes. Izuku. Okay, today we will have our favorite dish, pizza, for dinner, he said, happily carrying Eerie, putting her on his shoulders. So our couple had a nice family afternoon. Chapter 17. Rockter Izuku, Yuno and Menin vs Mirko. After the beating that Izuku gave to Class 2A, Izuku and his family were super calm, even though some students from Class 2A always went to see Izuku to forgive them, even Almight, since he wanted to apologize to Izuku for what he did to him, but he never opened them inclusion. They came on rainy days since lately it had rained these days, but they still continued to insist that Izuku forgive them, and these days Izuku and his family spent a great time seeing each other, since after everything that happened they lived peacefully, and Izuku had already lost his depression. Even if his mother was not here, she would be happy for the family that Izuku now had. And what is our green-haired girl doing now? Narrator. We see Izuku at his house with Menin. It was already night and it was raining hard. Izuku. Well, Mirko may be here, and I is seriously looking at a map. Menin. I hope if these sons of bitches have owed me money for a while, Izuku. I know you're angry. But I swear we'll get revenge on them, calm down. Menin. Well, luckily it's already night, I'm glad, so the police and no one can bother us, finally we can do something without the police coming, it would be. Yuno. And what time do we leave, since Eerie is super asleep and I'm a little scared to leave her alone? Izuku. Don't worry, love, it will just be something quick and we'll be back in a few minutes, also I promise we'll be back quickly. Menin. I hope if they are sharpening their sword. Yuno. Love, do you want a cookie, making a tray of cookies? Izuku. Thanks, love, taking some, they taste delicious eating. Menin. I want them too. Yuno. They're not just for me, Izuki. Menin. TSK, whatever, boring, well let's go at once. Izuku. It's okay, finishing some cookies he goes to the room where he changes quickly and comes out with his hero suit. Yuno. Every day more handsome, love, giving him a kiss which he reciprocates and the two kissed with great passion. Menin. Already, let's go later, they grab something, upset. Izuku. Okay. So the three of them leave the apartment while it was raining, and the three of them were running from roof to roof until they arrived with Karuto. Karuto. They finally arrive. Menin. Very well, idiot, tell us where those sons of bitches are. Karuto. They are in that building, pointing at the building. Menin. Well, let's wait, let's go in. Karuto. I'll divert the police with fake calls and fake locations. Izuku. Okay, let's go at once. So the three of them entered where they didn't see anything. Menin. Where are you sons of bitches, upset. Izuku. They must be at the top of the building, tying Yuno with their whip starting to float, and Menin propelled herself with her explosions until they reached the top floor of the building. Izuku. It must be here. Menin. Here we go, kicking the door, destroying it. Menin. Sons of bitches. I screaming furiously. Oh hello, Menin. Marcus. I think you brought the crazy Yuno Gasai and another one, who is the boy? Izuku. I am Izuku Midoriya and I do not like it when people say ugly things to my girlfriend, taking out a whip that transforms into a sword. Yuno. I also joined the fight, taking out his sword, quickly cutting his hand, setting it on fire. Is that really how they want to kill us then, guards? At that 5 guards come out and Marcus and I take out their katanas. Marcus. Then let it be a fair fight. Izuku. Whoever wins will take the victory, and if I win I will bathe in your blood, seriously. Marcus. And if we win I will use your skull as a teapot. And I will use your body to sell your organs all over the world, and I will eat your heart. Woman. Let this begin by playing a Japanese drum. Izuku. Die. And that Izuku blocks an attack from a guard, and Menin takes advantage and makes an explosion in his chest, taking out his organs, and Izuku cuts the throat of another, and another one rips out the Adam's apple. Guard. Die, damn. Yuno. Nobody hurts my Izuki by cutting off another guard's hands, and by stabbing another in the stomach, and by cutting off another's hand and burying his katana in his ribs. Izuku. Anyone else tired? Marcus. Let's see if you're good in the dark, turning off the lights where I lunged at Yuno, but Yuno in a quick movement cuts off her hand, lighting it, and cuts Ai's throat, and Izuku activates One for All Asia, runs Marcus, and gives him a strong punch, and rips out his heart and destroys his chest, and everything lights up. Menin. But how surprised. Izuku. The idiot is no longer alive, wiping the blood from his head. Yuno. Finally the mission is over, wiping the blood off her dress. At that it starts to rain from the emergency shower. Izuku. Really, do you want to set this place on fire? Menin. It's just that I don't want to leave a trace. Izuku. Better go before this collapses. So the three of us left while the building was slowly destroyed. 20 minutes later. We see Izuku at home on the couch, tired, with his red and black checkered pants and a comfortable white t-shirt, but Yuno arrives with a tray of cookies. Yuno. Love, do you want more cookies? Izuku. Oh thanks, taking some and eating them very happily, and he ate them super happily. Izuku. Why are these cookies super delicious? Love, eating worse, is confused when he sees Yuno's face. Yuno. You see, love, with the great love that I feel for you, it is so great that something comes out of my body when I am with you, and my heart beats too hard to the point that I take something out of my body, and thanks to what I took out of my body, I gave it a meaning and called it love nectar. Izuku. So they are made. Yuno. That's right, my love, they are made with my nectar of love, she said, in love and happy and dripping vaginal fluids. Izuku. How much? Yuno. So much, love, so much. Izuku. Yuno, come here, taking her by the hand and taking her to the room where he throws her onto the bed. Izuku. I've told you 1,000 times not to keep secrets from me, and you know how much it bothers me that you were a super bad girl for not telling me anything, so I pulled down her panties and panties. Yuno. Hit me, Izuku, I behaved very badly, I was a super bad girl, hit me. But that Izuku slaps him super hard, getting a moan from Yuno. Yuno. Harder, daddy, receiving another spanking. More, daddy, I behaved very bad, receiving more spanking. I want more, daddy, come on, my love, hit us hard, moaning, bringing out tears of pleasure. Chapter 18. A family day. Yuno. It's that you look super handsome dressed like this. Izuku. Thanks, love, same, you, giving her a kiss. Yuno. Well, let's go right now. So our family goes to the car and gets in while listening to music quietly until they arrived at the cemetery where they enter. Luckily they didn't get wet until they arrived at Inko's grave, and Izuku leaves flowers on the grave. Yuno. Izuku, being honest, she is the mother I never had, since she was super good to you, God, I wish I had met her, me too, said, smiling, touching Inko's tombstone. Izuku. Yes, you are absolutely right, touching the tombstone. 20 minutes later. Izuku. Well, let's go, let her rest. Eri. Goodbye, grandma, leaving flowers. Izuku. Well, let's go, like that. The three of them left, but Yuno saw something that made her angry. Yuno. Izuku, go to the car right away, I'll catch up with you, giving her the umbrella. Izuku. Okay, walking towards the car, and Yuno angrily approaches Uraraka, who was hiding in some trees. Yuno. I already told you not to get close to my family, annoying. Uraraka. No, stupid, is my family angry? Yuno. If you want my Izuku, you will have to walk over my corpse, angry. Uraraka. I will kill you in the most horrible way that you cannot imagine, and Izuku and Eri will be mine, but Yuno makes a sword of fire and sticks it next to Uraraka, scaring her. Yuno. Stay away from my family, super serious, and leaving a scared Uraraka and Yuno got to the car where Izuku gets in. All good, love. Yuno. Yes, all good, love, smiling, well, let's go to the movies right now, okay? So our family was calm until they got to the movie theater where they saw a long line. Yuno. Wow, the line for tickets is very long. Izuku. Luckily I already have them, showing that I had 3 tickets. Eri. Really, daddy? Izuku. Yes, my girl, since I knew you wanted to see her too, said, smiling. Eri. Thanks, daddy, you are the best, hugging Izuku's legs. Izuku. You're welcome, daughter, stroking his hair. Yuno. And what are we waiting, love, let's get the popcorn, and he said happily. Izuku. Okay, love, giving him a kiss. So Izuku bought the popcorn and they went to the room. Yuno. Wow, seriously, in 4D. Izuku. Of course, yes, love, you deserve that and more, sitting in his chair. Yuno. Thanks, love, for all this, hugging Izuku. Izuku. You're welcome, love, said, smiling. Eri. Daddy is going to start putting on the 3D glasses. Izuku. How exciting, he said happily and whispering. That's how the whole movie happened, where they had a wonderful time in 4D since the chairs moved a lot. The movie was super good, Shawn Mendes, I raffle it, watch it, you're going to like it. So they had their family day until a night where they went to their house, put Eri to bed and went to sleep. 2:30 a.m. We see Izuku watching a plastic bottle with something slimy. Izuku. Well, it will only be a drink, besides it is my wife's, the fluids that I collected, taking a sip from the bottle, drinking something and taking it away, well, fluids fell into the sink. Izuku. I love you with all my soul, Yuno Gasai, Midoriya said in love, putting his eyes of hearts and taking another sip from the bottle. End of the chapter. Okay people, if I wasn't as inactive as always, it is that I took a break from everything and also took advantage of the good end. The good end is something that happens in Mexico where you buy many cheap things and that's why I took advantage of it. But don't worry, something epic is coming and very soon, the Izuku Orochi Christmas OVA. Until next time, bye. Nobody, no one, not even a fly. Izuku Denji, Izuku Heisenberg and Izuku Dom are watching in horror as they are the most beloved of the fanfics. Leave your star for Izuku Dom are happy. Chapter 20, Izuku vs Yuki. We see Izuku and his family on a picnic since they wanted to get away and rest from everything for a while. Izuku. Seriously, how do you sigh that the chocolate cake was my favorite? You know. I know everything about you, love, even what size tennis shoes you wear. Izuku. Thanks for making me my cake, love. You know. I knew you would like it and it's nothing, love, you know that I love you very much. Giving you a kiss, you feel much better in your arms. Izuku. Yes, much better now. I don't need the bandages as much, but I am more than better, hugging her as well as Eri. You know. How strange, why doesn't anyone come? Izuku. It must be because I think everyone is at the fair today, it opens. You know. Since you mention it, love, we can go to the fair later since we have the night free for us. How about we go, please? Eri. Yes dad, please, putting on a puppy face like you know. Izuku. Well, okay. Eri. Thanks daddy, hugging him like you know. You know. How about we play something since to kill time and not go home too early? Eri. Wings caught. Izuku. Okay, but you know, try not to go so fast since the other time you burned a tree because your footsteps were making fire that you burned it. You know. Okay, I will try not to burn anything. Izuku. Very well, let the game begin. A few minutes later. Izuku I run, Eri, run, running. Eri, that's what I do, running, and Izuku carries her. You know you can run but not hide, Izuku and daughter said in a macabre way, and Izuku hides in a tree where he looks everywhere, seeing that Yuno was not there, relieving himself. Izuku. Gosh Eri, your mom really takes this game seriously since the other time she almost burned some bushes in the forest. Eri. Dad in shock. Izuku. What's going on? You know. Hehehe. Izuku. Q, what, seeing Yuno up in a tree? You know. I finally caught you, Izuku. Izuku. No, Yuno, wait, run, Eri, grabbing Eri, and they run out where Yuno was running super fast until she puts up a small wall of fire. You know. Hehehehe, I have them, hugging them. Izuku. Wait, Yuno, putting out the fire with a small smoker, it's done so the fire doesn't spread. You know. I always win in this game. Izuku. Okay, let's play something else, better hide and seek. You know. Good idea. Several hours later. We see Yuno bathing calmly while scrubbing her hair. You know. God, how relaxing it is to bathe with hot water, arranging her hair while bathing. But someone comes in. Izuku. Hello, Yuno, smiling. You know. Hello love, do you want to bathe right now? Right away, I'll hurry. Izuku. No love, you take it easy, said smiling. You know. Okay, smiling and rubbing her breasts. But Izuku comes in and turns Yuno around. You know. Hey, what's wrong, love? But Izuku puts his finger in her mouth and with a whip Izuku locks the door so Eri doesn't come in. Izuku. So it was you who left marks on my neck and abdomen when I sleep, at the same time puts her nails on my back, property of Yuno. You know. I can explain it, Izuku with fear, and Izuku takes her by the neck. Izuku. Silence, I am angry since you worried Eri a lot because of the words on my back, and also putting his thumb in Yuno's mouth. Those bites you gave me were big, so I will punish you for being a bad girl. You know. Izuku love said in love, biting her thumb. Izuku. I know very well that I make you mine, but now it's my turn, starting to kiss Yuno, who only moaned. You are so beautiful and hexy, your rich lips, your rich breasts and your delicious ass that I love when it bounces, and what I love most is your rich body, you drive me crazy. We begin to kiss Yuno's neck. You know. Yes daddy, I'm all yours forever, moaning, touching Izuku's back, but Izuku grabs her, love moaning. But I feel a great electric current, at the same time she feels something coming out of her neck and sees a little that it was blood coming out. You know. Izuku. Izuku. Mine, only mine, you drive me crazy, love, kissing her shoulder. You know. Izuku moaning something loud. But she feels two electric currents since Izuku began to bite her shoulder hard, at the same time he masturbated her very quickly, at the same time Izuku licked Yuno's blood, making her moan loud, at the same time she felt an orgasm that she had never felt. You know. Izuku kai I moaning loudly and coming in Izuku's hand, making him stop masturbating her and stop biting her. Izuku. You liked it, right? You know. Yes. Izuku. And you really liked your new marks. You know. Yes Izuku, I liked my mark on my shoulder and my neck, and that you bite my neck and shoulder hard and use my body to please your desires like that, my love, said super in love like a Yandere. Izuku. Very well, now give me what I want. You know. Okay, Izuku lying down opening his legs. Izuku. It will be a good nectar of love. So Izuku began to lick Yuno's vagina, which moaned super loud. At the same time the hot water increased the pleasure of both. Izuku. Shit, this is a delight, licking, putting his tongue deeper into Yuno's vagina, which she moaned loudly until. Yuno. Love, I can't take it anymore. Izuku. I want it all, putting his mouth and Yuno came in Izuku's mouth and he takes it very gladly until Yuno stops running. Yuno. Daddy breathing heavily. Izuku. Now comes the main course. 1 hour later. We see Izuku with a white turtleneck sweater so they wouldn't see her marks on her neck, a red jacket, blue pants, and red Converse, and Yuno was wearing a black sweater, a blue jacket, a gray skirt, some dark red and black striped socks, and black boots. Izuku. Okay, love, we're ready to go out. Yuno. Yes, love, but I'm missing my kiss. Izuku. Okay, giving him a little kiss. Yuno. Hehehehe, thanks Izuki, well now let's go. Izuku. You're missing something, love. Yuno. What's wrong, darling? At that Izuku grabs his cheek and bites it tenderly, leaving a small bite. Izuku. Ready, now let's go. Yuno. Eee. Izuku. Let's go, it was just a small bite, well let's go, holding hands. 10 minutes later. We see the whole family in the cemetery since they went to see Inko. Izuku. Well, we already cleaned the tombstone and it looks more beautiful seeing the tombstone. Yuno. Do you think that one day they will catch whoever did that? Izuku. I think so, since they are investigating the case very thoroughly. Yuno. I am very happy. 1 hour later. Izuku. Well family, let's go, let's let your grandmother rest. Eri. Goodbye grandma, smiling, and everyone leaves the cemetery. 30 minutes later. Izuku. Okay, let's watch the movie that I've been waiting for all year. Eri. Which dad? Izuku. That one, pointing at the poster. Yuno. How did you know? I was waiting for it, he said happily too. Izuku. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go see it. So they went to buy the tickets and the popcorn, where the whole family had a great time. Until the movie ended. Izuku. Very good movie. I loved the Hoopalumpa. Yuno. I really liked it, actually. Eri. I like it a lot, but now we're going to the fair. Izuku said excitedly. Okay, let's go or else we'll be late. Carrying it where the plaza comes out and they arrived at the exit. I'm not lying to you, that's how the gallery parking lot was, it was super empty and it was really scary, to be honest. Izuku. The parking lot is a bit scary going to the car. Yuno. Well, let's go quickly, but look at Izuku, what's up, love? Izuku. It's nothing, it's just that having these days with my family makes me forget all the bad things that happened to me, smiling. Yuno. Their love touching her face, I promise you that when we have Eri's brothers, we will do this almost every day, smiling, caressing her face. Izuku. It's okay love, I feel the car and they leave. Yuno. I can put some music. Izuku. Of course, driving, and Yuno puts on a song. Izuku. Wait, do you like Izuna? Yuno. Yes, he has very good songs. Izuku. And why didn't you tell me I like it too, turning up the song? 1 hour later. Izuku. Well family, we arrived getting out of the car and everyone enters the fair. Eri. Ooh, seeing all the games. Izuku. And well daughter, which one will we get on first? Eri. That one, pulling Yuno and Izuku. Yuno. Okay, now which one exactly? 2 minutes later. Yuno. Oh how exciting, he said happily. Parsley, cilantro. Izuku. Their god already scared me a lot to see I have to adjust the cell phone. Yuno. Their god, now we are going to go down with excitement and the corridor moves down. Izuku. I is screaming in terror. A few minutes later. We see everyone walking through the park. Yuno. Really, you have not overcome your fear of roller coasters? Izuku. Yes, of course, I was only afraid that my cell phone would fly away. Yuno. Well, where now? Izuku. Watching the games and puts on a smile. Yuno. I don't know which. Izuku. That one, moving Yuno's head. Yuno. Really love, then you scream loud. Izuku. So you can see that I have overcome my fear of roller coasters, walking to the line where they arrive. Employee. There are 1,000 apologies, but children 1.40 and 1.10 cannot pass, sorry. Yuno. Well, I will wait for you down here carrying Eri. Izuku. Wait girls, but many people enter and Izuku too. Very well, I have to do it alone with fear, he gets on and they put his protection on him. Very well, it will only be one ride, nothing more, besides I am here. With Yuno. Yuno. Look daughter, I bought popcorn. Eri. Thanks mommy, eating her popcorn. Yuno. Look Eri already started, she said excitedly, watching how Kirito went up. Eri. Mommy, do you think he will be okay? You know. I think so since your father I think he overcame it and got on by himself, so we can see that he is super brave and he is going to go down. Izuku. I is screaming loud. You know. Oh I think not seeing how he turned around and went down again until it ends and they go to the exit where Izuku arrives shaking a lot to the point that he was staggering from all sides. Izuku. Next time let's see if he has a height meter in the games so that you never leave me alone you know scared and you know and Eri laughed a little. 10 minutes later. We see Izuku and his family walking. Izuku. And now which one are we curious? You know. Look at a frozen attraction. Izuku. But it's a play, but oh well let's see if I like it. A few minutes later. Izuku Eri. Free I am I will emerge like the awakening free I am the ideal girl went firm like this, in the sunlight great storm I the cold is also part of me finished singing. Izuku. What a beautiful movie damn applauding. You know. Seriously with a drop of sweat. 10 minutes later. You know. Wow what a tired day, I don't know what time it is 10 at night we spent the whole day here. Izuku. Oh look you know the rocket show is going to start let's make ourselves comfortable. You know. Okay. So they went to the field where they sat down at the same time they ate pork rinds and popcorn. You know. What time will it start? Izuku. I think it's about to start oh wait they are going. Thus beginning Nelly rocket show where everyone marveled at the shapes that the rockets held in the sky and Izuku was super amazed by everything and Yuno takes his hand and Izuku looks at her and Yuno smiles at him with a beautiful smile until the two approach and join their lips in a warm kiss at the same time forming a heart in the sky and the two separate leaving a thread of saliva. You know. Thank you for this day love. Izuku. No thank you for being with me. You know. Well let's go home the rockets lasted almost a little. Izuku. Yes the truth yes well let's go home. You know. Yes love. You know is it you said a voice. You know. Who said my name? But Yuno is shocked since she recognized none other than Yukiteru. Yukiteru. Yuno seriously is it you surprised and Yuno takes Izuku and Eri by the hand and began to run with them. Izuku. Love what's going on running. Eri. Mommy what's going on? You know. I'll explain at home running out of the park where they go to the car, get in quickly we have to go. Izuku. But what's going on you know? You know. I'll explain at home but let's go. Izuku. Okay starting the car. Already at home. Izuku. Are you sure I know it was him? You know. Yes I recognized him his face was completely deformed because I burned it apart it was deformed. Izuku. But why did we run? You know. Because if you confront him maybe they'll send you back to jail sad. Izuku. There must be a very big reason for him to kill him but in the meantime come. You know. It's okay getting on Izuku's legs. Izuku. I promise you nothing will touch you that bastard. You know. Okay love lying on Izuku's chest, I'm afraid that he's going to do something to us. Izuku. Nothing will touch you while I'm here caressing Yuno's hair. 3:30 in the morning. We see Yukiteru on a motorcycle. Yukiteru. Where could Yuno be driving, damn my face is super horrible, that crazy bitch is going to pay for it. I wouldn't finish speaking when someone grabs him, tying him up with whips that send him far away and embeds him in the wall. Yukiteru. Who are you? Izuku. I am Yuno's husband and you will pay for what you did to her I was going to hit him, but Yukiteru moves away. Yukiteru. Listen to me it was her fault, but he dodges a blow from Izuku, she was a jealous bitch and she always wanted me to have eyes for her, besides she always put marks on me all over my body. Izuku. Shut up tearing down the wall where she throws him and Yukiteru escapes from Izuku, but Izuku hits him and sends him into the forest where he stops there. Izuku. Come here Yukiteru. Yukiteru. Well if you don't want to understand then you will die. And that Yukiteru throws an energy ball that sends some trees flying, but Izuku returns it with 60% of one for all and lunged at Yukiteru which they began to fight and Izuku grabs Yukiteru and throws him against some trees, but Yukiteru throws an energy ball at him, but Izuku dodges it and Izuku throws a smash that sends Yukiteru far away, but he throws an energy ball at him sending him far away and Yukiteru approaches him. Yukiteru. Now you will die you bastard. But he receives a fireball. Yukiteru. But what the buck? Izuku. Yuno looking up. Yuno. Get away from my man screaming furiously taking out her katana. Izuku. Yuno no. Yukiteru. I will get revenge on you you miserable bitch. Izuku. Kicking over my corpse. Yuno. Nobody hurts my husband by hugging him. Yukiteru. I was going to go look for you, but you went looking for me like the bucking Yandere that you are. Izuku. It may be Yandere, but at least it is 100% faithful not like your annoying bucking wretch. Yukiteru. I will kill you and tear off the skin of your face to make myself a new face. Izuku. We will see. So the three of them pounced on each other, where Izuku and Yuno were giving it their all to Yukiteru. At the same time he defended himself as he could, but Izuku and Yuno were super fast, and Izuku gives him a hard punch that breaks his ribs. Yukiteru. A communist bastard, giving Izuku a blow that makes him a cut. Yuno. Izaki. Yukiteru. You also gave him that ridiculous nickname like my Yuki. Yuno. Bucking wretch. Izuku. Yuno wait. But Yuno would throw a huge burst of fire that burned many more to Yukiteru. Yukiteru. Ai screaming unfortunately. But Izuku punches him so hard that he sends him crashing against some rocks, leaving him badly injured. Izuku. You give up already, annoying wretch. Yuno. If you get up I swear I'll burn your whole body until you turn to ashes. Yukiteru. That's why everyone is afraid of you, even your boyfriend. Yuno. What did you say? Almight squeezing his knife. Yuki. That even your boyfriend is afraid of you. Yuno. Nonsense. Izuku is happy with me, right my love? Izuku. Sure Sky, but don't kill anyone please. Yuno. Tell him I'm not that bad. Izuku. Well, at least you didn't blow up my family and my bucking face. Yuno. Very well said. Because of your jealousy you became a murderer again. Izuku. You were left alone and virgin while I bucked Yuno. Yuno. You couldn't even save Aiko. Izuku. You're so pathetic. Yuno. Izuku. You're not that strong if a paraplegic beats you up. Yuno. If I were you my life would disgust me. Izuku. I would pray that the shot had pierced the helmet. Yuno. I'll take the katana and I'll tell you which shushi. Izuku. You're so dumb that we'll call you. Izuku. Lucy. Australopithecus. Lucy singing. Yukiteru. Is it a rap or are you confused? Izuku. Yes, son of a bitch. Yukiteru. Enough of your nonsense and now. But Izuku with the same sword buries it in his crotch and tears them off along with his henna, and Izuku sticks it in his skull and with a quick movement breaks his neck, thus quickly dying Yukiteru. Izuku. Let it be very clear that nobody plays with my wife and nobody gets in and spanks her. Yuno. Izuku. Izuku. And as for you, you put a tracker on my suit again, I don't know where, on my cell phone. Yuno. I can explain it with fear. Izuku. And on top of that you leave Eri alone. What the hell is wrong with you? Lucy upset. Yuno. Izuku lowering his head. Izuku. But how were you able to go looking for me everywhere? I will reward you now by carrying her like a princess. Yuno. Okay love, let's go then. Lying on Izuku's chest. Chapter 21. Izuku vs Akai's. We see Izuku and Yuno jumping from building to building. Izuku. The radar shows that Akai's is a little closer. Yuno. I'm so glad that Kuruno put a tracker on Akai's before she ran away. Izuku. Seriously, Akai's and you are rivals. Yuno. That's right, because I beat him once and I wanted a rematch, but the time he almost killed that stupid piece of shit Yukiteru he got angry because he would never get his revenge, but when I left he attacked again running. Izuku. Just go in and out and go pick up Eri from school running until they arrived at a destroyed house. Yuno. It's here. Izuku. Let's go then, entering, and they arrived at the top where they saw Akai's. Akai's. Hello to both of you. Izuku. So you're Akai's. Akai's. That's right, dear friend, and I see you're with Yuno. Yuno. So you wanted a rematch, well here I am. Akai's. Actually I want Izuku. Izuku. I'm not gay, I'm straight, activating one for all. Akai's. That's not what I meant. Yuno. Then what? Akai's. I found out that he has a super strong quirk that he possesses, so I want to have it for myself. Yuno. No, if I stop him by pouncing. Izuku. No, Yuno waits. But Akai screams loudly, sending Izuku far away and grabs Yuno. Akai's. You know, when I went to see Yukiteru at the hospital he really looked like a big piece of shit, but you know I'll get revenge for what you did to my mere friend. Yuno. Don't tell me you'll kill me. Akai's. Worse, I'll do the same to you as Yukiteru, but worse. Oh goodbye Yuno. But someone kicks him far away. Akai's. You screaming loudly again, sending Yuno far away, but not Izuku, who was still holding Akai's, and the two fall into an abandoned building. Akai's. It will be a pleasure to kill you, and Yuno taking out a knife. Izuku. But you know something coming, no one get involved with my wife. In that, Izuku would punch him so hard that he sends him super far away, and Izuku and Akai's began to fight, but Akai's shouted something loudly that bothered Izuku and threw many smashers towards Akai's. With Yuno. Yuno. Oh damn, clutching the cut on her right breast. Yuno. Damn, that cut was somewhat deep. But see that Izuku was hitting Akai's super hard with so much force, while dodging Akai's wave screams, and Izuku punches him so hard that he sends him to the ground. Yuno. Izuku, there I go, love starting to run. But Izuku. Izuku. Are you giving up already? Akai's. Nii screaming loud sending Izuku far away, but Izuku takes out a whip that ties to a rock and throws it with great force at Akai's, which he dodges something that Izuku takes advantage of and gives him a punch that sends him far away. Izuku? Are you giving up already? But Akai's grabs him. Akai's. Izuku, there's something I want to tell you. Izuku. No, I won't be your boyfriend. Akai's. No, idiot. The truth is that Yuno is super bad since she killed her parents and wants to kill you too. Yuno. Love running. Izuku. Yuno. Akai's. Sorry. Yuno grabbing Izuku. Yuno. What are you going to do? Akai's approaches Izuku and was going to kiss him. But Izuku gives him a big punch in his jaw, sending him far away. Akai's. Ai is screaming in pain. Yuno. Do you know what happens if someone touches my boyfriend? Akai's. What? Yuno. I'll kill him screaming furiously. Izuku. Wait Yuno. So Yuno and Akai's began to fight super fast to the point that Akai's was losing and tried to scream, but Yuno burned his body until. Akai's. I'm done with you taking out a knife. Izuku. No you bastard don't do it running. But Yuno dodges the knife and it falls to the ground. Yuno. That was all. Akai's. I'm going to slaughter you, you son of a bitch. Izuku. Over my dead body. At that Izuku punches Akai so hard, piercing his stomach, causing him to bleed, and he falls to the ground. Akai's. But they will be sons of bitches. I just wanted to say something to Yuno annoyed. Yuno. We don't give a fuck. Izuku. To hell with the others kicking him. Akai's. I'm going to kill them. But Yuno throws his katana that made with the force that he threw it cut his head, making Izuku be shocked by what he saw. Izuku. Yuno. Yuno. Don't even be surprised, he was my greatest enemy. But Akai's body began to move. Izuku. But how can she be alive? Shocked. Yuno. Damn, don't finish him off anymore. But Akai's body approaches Izuku and shows him something on his cell phone. Izuku. A photo of Yuno and Yukiteru shocked since the two were kissing and Akai's falls to the ground already dead. Yuno. How the hell do you have those images? Izuku. I want to see more, grabbing the cell phone but sees more photos of Yukiteru and Yuno. Yuno. Love, I can explain it. But Izuku breaks the cell phone into 1,000 pieces with his right hand. Izuku. Do you think that will make me end up with my wife? How stupid. Yuno. Wait, you don't want to end up with me. Izuku. No, because I love you too much, love, and I would never do it for anything in the world. Hugging her. Yuno. There, thank you, love, hugging him. Your suit was destroyed a lot, your suit and more on the right side of your arm is broken, but see a stain on Izuku's shoulder. Love, you are bleeding. Izuku. Where from? But look at his shoulder. Ah, it's nothing, just a stain, and already smiling nervously. Yuno. Love, show me. Izuku. It's nothing, honey, really smiling. Yuno. Already, love, show me. Izuku. Seriously, it's nothing, love. Yuno. Izuku, show me or we won't have Hex in 5 months, it would be. Izuku. Okay, taking his hand off his shoulder. Yuno. But wow. Yuno. Wow, it's me, surprised. Izuku. And look at my whole wrist, turning his arm. Yuno. Wow, Izuku, it's me all over your right arm. Izuku. That's right. Yuno. But why did you do it? Izuku. Because I love you too much, you are the love of my life, I want to be with you forever, love, and that's why I wanted to give you this detail, because I love you too much. That surprised Yuno since Izuku really loved her to the point that he did that. Yuno. Izuki. Izuku. What? Yuno. Run. Izuku. I'm screwed. A few minutes later. Izuku. I running with great force. Yuno. Come back here, my love, come, and let's have wild Hex. Why are you running? Izuku. Help ye. Yuno. Come here, I'll fill you with lots of kisses and more on the tattoos. Come here, love. Izuku. But first we better go for Eri at school. Yuno. Okay, or later we have wild Hex. Chapter 22, Yuno vs Uraraka. The days would pass in which Izuku's family spent it quietly, and these days no one went out where Yukiteru and Akai's were, since Izuku and Yuno quickly got rid of the bodies, and no one was looking for them, since they were already given up for dead, and this week Yuno was somewhat insecure, since she felt that someone was watching them, since she felt as if someone was watching them or watching them, so sometimes Yuno left the apartment for a walk, but she never found anything confusing her in these days. Crime had dropped 40% thanks to Yuno and Izuku, who had already caught most of the villains who escaped from Tartarus, and everything was calm in Japan. And what does our green-haired man do now? Narrator. We see Izuku and Eri playing Street Fighter. Izuku. Oh yeah, I'm already winning. Eri. So you think, Dad, doing a trick on the control, making Izuku try to attack her, but he couldn't and ended up losing. Eri? Yeez, I won. Izuku? Okay Eri, you beat me for the 5th time, but next time I will beat you. But they hear someone knocking on the door and Izuku goes to the door where he opens it revealing Yuno. Izuku? Love. Yuno. Happy anniversary love lifting the box that was wrapped in a gift bag. Izuku? What will it be grabbing it? Yuno. Open it. So Izuku opens the box taking a big surprise. Izuku? Oh my god, surprised. Yuno. Of course, love. Izuku? Is the PS5 happy? Yuno. Of course love. Izuku? How did you know surprised love? Yuno. I knew it from the beginning since when we go to a plaza you always look at the video game stores and you always look at the happy PS5 and Izuku goes to the room where he opens it seeing the console. Izuku? Is so beautiful and gorgeous that when I buy the great game Alan Waker I will play you for hours. Yuno. Izuku. Izuku. And I will also buy you Poppy Plot Time. Yuno. Izuku. Izuku. And also Call of Duty. Yuno. Izuku. Izuku. And also Fortnite. Yuno. Izuku screaming scaring Izuku. Izuku. What's up while looking at his PS5? Yuno. Really with a drop on my head. Izuku. If it's that I always wanted to have this console and that's why now it's mine hugging it. Yuno. How geeky you are love with a drop on my head. Izuku. I don't care even if you love me or look at the control it's super pretty he said happily taking out the accessories. But Yuno takes out a fire whip that ties him up quickly so he wouldn't burn and puts him against the wall. Yuno. Well where's my gift? Izuku. Well wait going to the room. Yuno. If it's a collection of Disney Funkos it's fine she said anxiously and Izuku comes out with a small box. Izuku. Here giving him the gift. Yuno. What is it? Izuku. Open it he said happily and Yuno opens the gift. Yuno. Wow surprised, you bought me the iPhone 15 opening the box revealing the iPhone 15. Izuku. Yes and at night I configured it to transfer your applications and things and photos from your previous iPhone. Yuno. Their love how did you know I wanted this iPhone? Izuku. Seriously when we go to a plaza you always look at the iPhones and that's why I came up with the idea. Yuno. Their thanks love I knew you would love your gift. Izuku. I also knew you would love your gift. Already at night. We see Yuno calmly taking out the trash and puts it in the dumpster but takes out his knife. Yuno. Well you bucking miserable I know you're there I felt like you were watching me all the time so get out at once coward. But someone puts a handkerchief on her mouth making her fall asleep slowly. 1 hour later. We see Yuno still sleeping but a loud noise began to wake her up and look that she was tied to a large log and that she was already close to the fence but Yuno burns the chains where she quickly leaves. Yuno. She was close. But she hears a loud noise and sees that several metal rods were coming towards her but she quickly runs with force until they all get stuck in the ground. Yuno. Okay idiot show yourself upset that Ichako is annoying. Uraraka. Hello Yuno sad. Yuno. Why the hell are you doing this because you won't leave us alone? Uraraka upset. Because I want everything to be like before since I love Izuku and I want him to be the father of my child. Yuno. What are you talking about? Uraraka. I found out I'm pregnant with Izuku. Yuno. What stupid things are you talking about? Uraraka. You don't believe me after getting a positive pregnancy test. Yuno. You're crazy. Uraraka. You're crazy because who forces their boyfriend to tattoo their face? Yuno. But at least I'm 100% faithful annoying. Uraraka. Enough of taking out so many rocks, when I'm done with you I'll go for Izuku and Eri so we can be the happy family we always had loved. Yuno. No if I kill you first and send you to hell with my parents annoyed taking out fire. Uraraka. Well then let your death begin. So Uraraka throws many rocks at Yuno which dodges them and began to release fireballs at Uraraka which she grabs them with her gravity and returns them but Yuno makes a wall of fire that brings it closer to Uraraka but Uraraka would throw many rocks that pass through it but Yuno would take out a knife and throw it in Uraraka's eye. Uraraka. I screaming loud taking the knife out of her eye, bucking crazy bucking bitch I'll kill you. But Yuno would throw a fireball that sends Uraraka far away. Uraraka. Stupid bitch I'll kill you at once throwing many rocks, but Yuno dodges them with great force at the same time she grabbed her knife and runs towards Uraraka, where Yuno arrives. Yuno. Enjoy hell. At that Yuno quickly cuts her throat causing her to bleed a lot. Uraraka tried to grab her throat but Yuno stabs her neck into her neck causing her to bleed a lot and fall to the ground while a pool of blood formed. Yuno. Tell me the truth. Uraraka. That. Yuno. You were the one who killed my mother-in-law right? Uraraka. No, not me. Yuno. Come on, tell me and I'll help you. Uraraka. Okay, it was me, but if I want to die, kill me once and for all. Yuno. Anyway, I was going to kill you since I knew it was you. Uraraka. Tell Izuku that I'm sorry and that I love him and his son too. Yuno. I'll tell him the first but not the last, so by lighting his hands, enjoy hell. And that Yuno began to burn Uraraka, who only screamed heartbreakingly until Yuno ends up leaving only the pure charred flesh. Yuno. I got it shocked, ye. Yuno. It's the best day of my life, my Izuki will love me much more since I finally killed the one who killed my mother-in-law, it's the happiest day in the world, ha 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 ha, laughing like a Yandere. But wait, will it be true? Grabbing the knife where she opens her stomach, seeing Uraraka's organs. Yuno. I knew it was a complete lie, there's nothing there, not even a fetus, seeing the stomach. Yuno. Is a damn annoying pig, let's see if she does not have identification, touching her pockets, taking out a wallet and some tickets. What is this? Row 1 Izuna concert is true today, come so I go at once. 1 hour later. We see the whole family gathered going to the concert. Izuku. And are you sure that reseller was trustworthy? Yuno. Yes love, since there were more people who wanted to buy the tickets and now they're to try to find our seats. Izuku. Ready, we have arrived at the box office, going to the entrance of the stadium. Bard. Tickets please. Yuno. Take, giving her the tickets where they scan them. Bard. You can go and enjoy the show. Yuno. Thank you. Entering the stadium that was full, heavens it is super full, carrying Eri. Izuku. We better look for ours, going to the front, I already found them sitting down like Yuno and Eri. Yuno. Eri, do not separate from daddy and I since there are many people there and you can get lost. Eri. Yes mom. Izuku. Oh by the way, Yuno, getting on the left sleeve. Yuno. Another tattoo. Izuku. Yes, with this one there are already 4 that I have on my skin. Yuno. What a beautiful love. Izuku. Happy anniversary, giving her a kiss. Then the lights go out. Eri. Yes, it's about to start. Yuno. How exciting, it's coming. Izuku. Yes, it's coming, happy. In that, Azuna and Natty Natasha appear. Natty. Today we will have a blast. Azuna. I want that cry of Japan today. The 3. Yes, our idols arrived, comically crying. This is how they had the best anniversary ever and the best night ever. Chapter 23, Yuno's dream. We see Yuno doing the chores in her room as she was cleaning the entire room, since sometimes they came full of blood and sometimes they dripped, and Yuno was cleaning and looks at a book under the bed. Yuno. And grabbing this and sits on the bed. It is Izuki's photo album and my mother-in-law opening it, seeing many photos of Izuku and Inko and more when Izuku was a baby and a child, and Yuno turned from page to page until she looks at a photo that surprised her and grabs her, looking at the photo and back it said something. Yuno. Your happiness makes me forget all the troubles in my life. Thank you for coming into my life. I love you. Izuku reading. They really loved each other so much. Izuku and my mother-in-law. Izuku. Love, I'm back from the supermarket. Yuno. Welcome home Izuki. Izuku. What are you doing? Yuno. Nothing, seeing this. Izuku. Wow, these are the photos of my mother and I. Yuno. Yes, and I loved this one since it is super pretty. Izuku. I'm glad, hugging her, you were so good to me when I was in Tartarus. Yuno. Honestly no, since I did not want to help you, but I saw something in you that I loved, so I'm not even that good of a girlfriend. Izuku. You are wrong love, you are the best wife of all for me, you are the best of all, giving it a bite. Yuno. Already Izuki blushed. Izuku. How about you and Eri go out today for a walk, since I heard a place where they're approaching her ear, they do wedding rehearsals. That made Yuno get surprised. Yuno. We can go now. Izuku. Of course. 1 hour later. Yuno. Ready Izuku, the bus is coming. Izuku. Well, it's just a 5-minute trip to the castle. Yuno. How exciting, aren't you excited Eri? Eri. Yes, and a lot, mommy, daddy. Izuku. It's the bus carrying Eri. Let's get on. So everyone got on. Where are they going? Izuku. I keep wondering where your rocket is since I feel like she's planning something. Yuno. Love, do you want to eat some sandwich? Izuku. Okay, eating, it tastes delicious love. Yuno. I knew you would like it love. 5 minutes later. Yuno. Woo, marveling at the place, come Eri, let's enjoy the place, holding Eri. Izuku. Yuno honey, I know you're excited, but here we have to have some respect since they also get married here. I don't know, young newlyweds here, they can also have fun since it is a place for those who want to get married. Yuno. Thank you. I'm Caruso Naomi, but you can call me now, welcome. Izuku. Your name reminds me of a friend of Caruso. Naomi. Wow, how small the world is, we have almost the same names, but come on, let's go, I'm your Chia. Yuno. This day we will have a good time carrying Eri. 5 minutes later. We see Izuku and Yuno eating quietly. Yuno, this is super delicious. Izuku, yes, the truth is that this food is very good. Naomi, it's that we have many chefs who are great experts. Izuku, what a wonder eating. 5 minutes later. Seamstress. So you want to try on some wedding suits? Izuku. Yes, that's right, because we want to rehearse when we get to our wedding. Seamstress. I understand, and how old are you? Yuno. I'm 15 and my husband is 18, but we still love each other very much. Seamstress. I see for you age is a number, but come here and you boy, here you have. Izuku. A suit. A little while later. Izuku. Wow, I look like a waiter at a party. Naomi. You didn't like it, right? Izuku. No, since I was thinking of wearing a black suit and black tie. Naomi. I like a typical weddings. Izuku. Of course. Yuno. Izuki. Izuku. What happened, but he is super surprised. Naomi. What's wrong, Izuku? Izuku. Wow, it's. Naomi. What's wrong, but look at Yuno. Yuno. What did you think of the wedding dress and the little suit they put on Eri? Izuku. You are super beautiful, love, super blushed. Yuno. Really, you like it? Izuku. Of course you do, love, and Eri, my princess, you are super beautiful. You are so beautiful dressed like this. When our wedding day comes, I will buy you the best little suit for you. Eri. Thanks, daddy. Izuku. How about we all take a picture? Yuno. Okay, Izuku. Already in the photo room. Photographer. Are you already smiling, wing 3123? So the photographer takes the photo where the family looked very happy. Yuno. How we came out holding the photo. Izuku. We look beautiful, but you know one thing, Yuno. Yuno. What thing? Izuku. Do you want to rehearse? Yuno. Surprise, teacher. Izuku. Yes, since I want to rehearse when our wedding is. Yuno. Really happy. Naomi. In fact, the chapel is free if you want, take advantage of this moment. Yuno. Yee screaming happily. 10 minutes later. Father. And do you really love her, or did you get her pregnant? Izuku. Yes, I love her, and at the same time I want to have a family with her. Father. Seriously, since I am a priest at weddings and I always see young people who were forced to get married because the boy got the girl pregnant or because they love each other, but in the end they get divorced. Izuku. Very sad that case, and I am against divorce since the children suffer and in the end you end up regretting getting divorced. And what is your name, father? Father. I, the father, will love to serve you, and goodbye, smiling. Izuku. Wait, he's coming. At that point, the wedding music started playing and Yuno entered in her big wedding dress and her big bouquet. At the same time, Eri threw fake flowers at Yuno's feet and Yuno approached the altar. Izuku wanted to cry because of the beauty that Yuno gave off. Father. Dear brothers, we are gathered here to witness the union of Izuku and Yuno. 20 minutes later. Father. Well, Izuku Midoriya, do you accept Yuno as your wife? Izuku. Accepted. Father. And you, Yuno, do if you accept Izuku as your husband? Yuno. Accepted. Father. He declared them husband and wife may kiss the bride. So Yuno threw herself into Izuku's arms, beginning to kiss him, while Eri applauded at her parents' happiness. 1 hour later. We see the family return home and Izuku was thinking about many things while Yuno and Eri slept. Izuku. I wonder why your parents treated you like that and why Yuki was unfaithful to you, caressing her hair, but her cell phone rings. Well. Hiroshima. Izuku, bro, are you okay? Izuku. Yes, what's wrong? Hiroshima. It's Achako, I know you shouldn't care, but she's dead. That surprised Izuku since Achako was dead. Izuku. How did she die? Hiroshima. Apparently she was charred, I think by Dabi or someone from the League of Villains. Izuku. But what does that have to do with me? Hiroshima. That's what I'm going to give you the worst news, shocked. Izuku. What thing? Hiroshima. She was the one who killed your mother. That shocked Izuku since he didn't expect that revelation. Izuku. Seriously? Hiroshima. Midnight Sensei entered his room. There he found all photos, videos, plans. God, it was very horrible. Izuku. But what will happen now? Hiroshima. They are prosecuting the parents for what Achako did to your mother, and I think they will pay, since when they found out they had a murderer daughter they want to pay for the crime of that damn woman. I'm sorry, bro, by telling you. Izuku. Don't worry, and thanks, hanging still in shock. 1 hour later. We see Yuno and Eri sleeping in bed and wake up slowly. Yuno. Wow, Eri, of spending all day in the castle if it exhausted us. Eri. Yes, and a lot, but where is daddy? Yuno. Maybe cooking, but if I told him we would order pizza to eat, but we are leaving the room seeing that no one was there, how strange your father is not here. Eerie. And he is not in my room or in the bathroom. You know. This is strange, or maybe it was because of the pizza. Eerie. Look, mom left a note. You know. Let's see, grabbing the note but is shocked. Daughter, stay here, I am going to look for your father. If someone knocks on the door you say. Eerie. Who is it? And if they don't answer I will not open it, and if it is dad I will open it. You know. Good girl, I will be right back. So Yuno leaves the house, where he goes down the stairs and runs to a nearby bar where he runs and sees Izuku super drunk. You know. Love, running, are you okay love? Izuku. Hig drunk. You know. You are very drunk, come on love. Izuku. I knew that was that annoying bitch. You know. What are you talking about love? Izuku. Buck throwing the bottle, taking off the band from his hair, leaving it loose. Why was I such an idiot, annoying. You know. Love, stop grabbing it, what's happening? Izuku. Uraraka. Was she the one who killed her? That surprised Yuno, since Izuku knew that Ichako was the one who killed her. You know. Love, how do you know that? Izuku. A friend told me they found many things about my mother's murder. Drunk. You know. Love, let's go home talk. Yuri is worried. But Izuku falls to the floor and faces the wall. Izuku. Damn, sitting down, taking a cigar out of his jacket and lighting it, starting to smoke. You know. Love, you're not okay, come on. Izuku. No, leave me here smoking, Yuno looks good. Love, bending down, I know it still hurts too much, it was the worst thing that happened to you, but love, you have me and your daughter, since now we are together, even if your mother is not here I will be here for you. That made Izuku put his hand on his face while he shed tears. Izuku. It's that sniff, why they did that to my mother, crying. You know. I know it hurts you too much love, but I will be here to heal your wounds. Izuku. I miss her love. You know. I know love, and that is why you will always be in our memories forever love, giving her a kiss. Come, let's go to the house, Eri is waiting for you, carrying him by the shoulder and takes him away. 3 days later. We see Izuku and Yuno outside a tavern. Izuku. But guys, why do you do this? Momo. It's like an intervention so you don't fall into alcohol and everything. Bakugo. And apart, we want to help you overcome all your ills. Izuku. Thank you very much friends. Seiya. You're welcome Izuku-kun, come on, let's go in at once. 1 hour later. Jiro. What is Stephen Hawking's favorite game? Everyone. That. Jiro. Rocket League. Eri. The bumper car game. Jiro. Exactly, Eri getting off the stage and Kirishima comes up. Kirishima. Bakugo's dad when the mom showed him the baby by putting his cell phone. I deserve it, but I don't want it, that's why I'm leaving. Bakugo. You must be the son of an annoyed. Todoroki. A coin in Medellin is a coin, seriously making everyone stay quiet. Izuku. Cough cough. Todoroki. List, I already told it, going down and going up. Izuku. Izuku. Once upon a time a dog named Flower went to Bogota, Colombia one day and they inhaled it going down and Yuno gets on. You know. My worst mistake was putting marijuana on my dog because one day she went to Tijuana, Mexico and they smoked it. Chapter 24. Eunice's pregnancy. We see Izuku and Yuno with some villains in a League of Villains lair. Izuku. Very well, since they don't want to tell us where Shigaraki is, nor the paranormal organization is of any use to us. Villain. Let's see who kills who. Yuno. It's a shame we are faster. Villain. We'll see. But Izuku with his whips cuts the throats of 14 villains and Yuno cuts off the heads of 18 villains with her red hot sword that melted their necks, and Izuku continued to fight very hard, killing many villains until they finished. Villain. Well, I'll say it, annoyed, vomiting blood. They are in the forest in a large mansion, since they are planning to attack everything and make a war of heroes and villains, that is why they are preparing to attack. Izuku. Well, for being good I will let you go. Villain. Thanks, at least I appreciate that, leaving while his stomach was bleeding. Izuku. Well love, I already have information on where he could be. You know. Honey, cleaning the blood slowly. Izuku. Keep going like that and I'll leave them super red, besides with all this it left me tired, maybe at 3 in the morning we'll do it, putting on his mask. You know. You're bad but it's okay. So the two leave the building where they started to jump. Izuku. How good, just there to look for that forest and we can leave this hell. You know. Love, I don't feel good, grabbing his mouth. Izuku. Look here again, vomit, love, grabbing it, and Yuno began to vomit a lot since you had a lot of vomiting and finish. Izuku. Better now. You know. Ready love, I'm fine. Izuku. You've been vomiting constantly for a week. You know. Maybe something we ate yesterday felt bad to me, but don't worry, I'm fine. Izuku. Okay, how about tomorrow, why don't we do anything if we go tomorrow to the fair, the one that opened? You know. Yes, very well, I look forward to tomorrow. The next day at night. Eri. Woo, happy seeing the whole place. Izuku. Which one do you want? Eri. I want to get on everyone happy. Well, let's have fun. Izuku. Yes, let's go grabbing Eri. Look at a magic mirror. May go. Try it, miss. Izuku. It seems fun. It sounds kind of boring, but I'll try it. May go. You won't regret it, miss. At that looks in the mirror and she saw herself at 35 years old, but she was super beautiful and super pretty. Izuku. My god, shocked and blushing. Well, I look very pretty blushing. Izuku. You are perfect, love, blushing looking at the mirror. 1 hour later. Izuku. Let's go to the crazy bowl. Okay then. So everyone gets up where sits. You hold on tight, Eri. Eri. Yes, mom. But the family sees that a woman disguised as a nun stands in front. Izuku. Excuse me, the game is going to start. Yes, friend, it's going to start. But the game starts, the game where the girl was dancing super well to the point that she did not fall or get dizzy at the same time she danced to the rhythm of the music without falling, surprising our family. So it was a few minutes where everyone was having fun until I stopped the game and everyone got off. Izuku. Yes, he dances well. Yes, he knew how not to fall out of the game. Izuku. But well, let's go for the missing ones. Let's go then. The next day. We see Izuku in a quiet building looking at nothing, waiting for someone, and someone arrives from behind. Endeavor. Sorry to take so long. Izuku. Don't worry, Endeavor, and he investigated something well. Todoroki. Yes, we investigate that before there was an old base that the League of Villains was hiding, since there is a small base in the northern forest. Izuku. I see, well, we will have to recruit many heroes, and I already master all my power, so I will try to kill Shigaraki. Todoroki. For he has the core of Afo's power. Izuku. Exactly, that's why we need Shigaraki dead and all the villains to fall. Endeavor. We will soon attack, we just have to make the army bigger. Izuku. For the meantime we will try that Gigantomachia does not destroy the city, I better finish him quickly, and then Shigaraki, I will see you, then I have to see someone. So Izuku took a big jump where with his whips. 15 minutes later. Izuku arrives at his house. Izuku. I already arrived, love, but look at standing there. Izuku, we have to talk. Izuku. About what? Sit down. Izuku. Okay, sitting down, what's wrong, love? Izuku, I know that we both wanted this day to come, we longed for it very much, but now with what I'm going to tell you, this will change your lives forever, and also we will have more joy in our lives. Izuku. What are you talking about, love? It's that what I'm going to tell you made me happy, and this is the best day of my life, that's why I want to show it to you, but I don't know how you're going to react, shed tears. Izuku. My love, holding her hands, if it's something hand I will support you in everything, and if something happens, I will also help you in everything, because I will never leave you alone, I love you so much, love, to the point that I want to marry you and be with you forever, smiling, making shed tears of happiness, and take a pregnancy test out of her pocket. Izuku. That is shocked. Izuku, I'm pregnant, showing the positive test. Izuku. Seriously, you are super shocked. Yes, love, we will be parents again, crying. Izuku. I will be a dad again, love, grabbing her, giving her a big hug. And that the two joined their lips in a big kiss that both felt for this great news. Thank you, love, for giving me everything I always wanted. Izuku. No, thank you for making me the happiest man in the world again, thank you for giving me another baby, love, crying with happiness. Isaac. I love you so much, love. So the two gave each other a big kiss, while both cried with happiness to know this great news, while Izuku grabbed Yuno's belly at the same time he caressed it. Already at night. Doctor. Well, young people, I have great news for you. What if the baby is already developing? Izuku. Oh god, how happy. Yes, love, how happy, happy. Doctor. And the hex of the baby is. Izuku. No, 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 doctor, better put the hex in an envelope and we will find out as a surprise. Doctor. I see, yes, of course, why not? I will save the results for you right away. 5 minutes later. We see Izuku and his family delivering the results. Pastry chef. So you want me to know if the baby's result is a boy or a girl, it will be the color it is. Izuku. Yes, exactly. Pastry chef. Okay, at night it was delivered to you by parcel service. Izuku. Okay, thank you very much. Just like that, and they leave the pastry shop. Izuku. How exciting. At night we will know it's. I'm hoping for a girl. Eri. I already want it to be a girl. Aspie. Hey, 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 hey. Listen to me, you didn't pay for that hot dog. That's so? Yes, I did. Aspie. I'm seeing you from there, fatso. That man. Of course I did, idiot. Aspie. You're smart, you're bad, you didn't pay, go and pay him again. That man. No way. Aspie. I'm the law here. That man. And what do I care? Aspie. What do you care, your mother's hussy. That man. Are you crazy? And that the two approach giving each other a kiss. The good thing is that Izuku quickly covered his eyes so that Eri does not see. Eri? Why do you cover my eyes, dad? Izuku. So you do not see the fight, come on, let's get some ice cream. Daughter upset watching Gaspy and the fat man kissing. Taxi driver. Give it to him, eat his mouth. You know. Ah, they are Yaochubes. I am not even surprised and at the same time disgusted. Already at night. Everyone was on the living room floor waiting for the cake delivery man. Izuku. And what do you want it to be? You know. I don't know what you want me to be. Izuku. Obviously a boy to be my successor and be a great hero and be my best friend, smiling. You know. And if it's a girl? Eri. I want it to be a girl too. You know. Yes, but we have to face their tantrums since when they are babies they usually throw a lot of tantrums. Izuku. You know, and when she has suitors she will be like the most popular in the world. Eri, and when she is older. You know, she will be very beautiful and pretty, my beautiful girl. Izuku. You know. And most likely she will find a partner and get married. Eri. But she has many boyfriends. You know. I hope not and she finds the right one. Izuku. You know. What's wrong, Izuku? You've been very quiet. Izuku. My daughters will not have a boyfriend, shouting angrily. Sorry, it's just that I'm worried that it's a girl since she's in a lot of danger in this life. You know. Don't worry, love, we will take care of her and love her and you more since mostly girls love their fathers more than their mothers. Izuku. Well then I will love her and take care of her a lot, smiling, and what do you want me to be? You know. A girl, honestly a girl and then a boy, so we have the couple. Izuku. It would be nice. But the bell rings and Izuku gets up, opening the door, seeing that it was the delivery man, pays him everything and closes the door. Izuku. He arrived happy, putting it on the table. You know. Dear God, how exciting, happy opening the box. Izuku. And the result is inside it has a knife. You know. I already brought it. Izuku. Eri, do you want to do the honors? Eri. Seriously, dad. You know. Yes, since you are the most excited, so cut it. Eri. Yes, I'm already happy. So Eri cuts a piece and takes it out, revealing the pink color. Izuku. It can't be shedding tears. You know. It's a girl. Izuku. Yes, it's a girl, my love, crying with happiness. Are you going to have? Another girl said happily. You know. Yes. In that, the two of them kiss each other with the great love they felt while they cried with happiness, and they separate with a thread of saliva. Izuku. Daughter, wiping away her tears, you're going to have a new little sister, and that will make you the older sister of all. Eri. Yes, dad, hugging him. 12 at night. You know. Wow, we finished the cake, wiping away her tears. Izuku. Yes, it was super good. Eri ate 3 pieces and fell asleep, caressing her. I'm going to take her to bed. You know. Okay. Izuku. Okay, Eri, let's go to bed, carrying her where she carries her like this room and cuddles her and gives her a kiss on the forehead and leaves the room. You know. Yes, she fell super asleep. Izuku. Yes, and tell me, love, I want to know why she was so thoughtful, wiping away her tears. You know. It's not that I thought about the future, having our own house, spending all day with my children and having a great happy. Izuku. If it's because of the issue of everything, don't worry, I will work hard so that you and my family do not lack anything in life. Seriously, I will do it for you, smiling, and you know, not being able to take it anymore, gets up. You know. Izuku, I can't take it anymore. Izuku. What a thing, love. You know. Every day thinking about what I did, and I feel that if I tell you maybe you will abandon me. Izuku. No, because I would do it, confused, love. You know. I did the right thing. Izuku. We are husband, love, I will understand and support you. You know. Uraraka. Izuku. What with Uraraka? You know. Before she died, she told me to forgive her with all her heart. Izuku. What are you talking about? Super confused, and you know, kneels. You know. It was me. Izuku. What are you talking about? You know. I killed her. Izuku. Okay, now it's a big joke, love, and now you'll say you fell, smiling, but look at you know who was shedding tears. Izuku. And how did you kill her? You know. I burned her to the point that I charred her. I made her charcoal to the point that I burned the whole place, shedding many tears. Sorry love for hiding it from you. Izuku. Because you hid it from me. You know. I was very afraid that you would abandon me love, I was very scared since I don't want to be alone the rest of my life shedding tears. Izuku. And that's what she told you when she passed away. You know. Yes, shedding tears, sorry crying, forgive me love, it's that you were very hurt by your mother and well, I wanted to hide it. But Izuku picks her up and gives her a big hug. Izuku. Thank you crying with happiness, thank you love because she is no longer in this world and finally justice was done for my mother crying, justice was done crying, thank you love, thank you hugging her. You know. You're welcome, love. You know I love you very much, right? Crying with happiness. Look, love, showing her arm. Izuku. Wow love, it's me happy. You know. Yes, it hurt a little, but it was worth it happy. Izuku. I loved it love, giving her a kiss, good love, wiping her tears, I will give you your reward, carrying her to the room. You know. Make me a child love. Izuku. Anything for my wife, giving her a kiss. Chapter 25. Mirai Nikki. 3 weeks later. We see all the heroes gathered. Izuku. Well, we have to go quickly to the mansion. Kuroto informed me that he is already at 90% of all for one in his entire body. Mirko. Then what do we wait for? Izuku. Well, you go for the weak and half-strong villains and I will go for the big ones. Menin. Weighty and screaming. Akugu. And you, who are you? Menin. I am the great Menin, the queen of explosions. Izuku. Long time no see. Menin hugging her in a friendly way. Menin. I missed you so much nerd. Izuku. I didn't know you and Karuno were on vacation. Menin. Yes, but I'm back to help you, so let's run with their explosions. Akugu. I like it. Izuku. Well, let's go at once. So everyone runs super fast, where everyone was super prepared for the battle until they reached the great mansion. Okoyami. Let's finish this. Mirko. Let's finish those idiots knocking on the door, seeing that no one was there. Izuku. Where is Todoroki? He couldn't see, escaped upset. Izuku. We have to find him. At that, Shigaraki comes out of the shadows with his white hair and many scars. Shigaraki. You should never have become a hero again, Deku, but because of your stupidity grabbing the floor, you will die. Izuku. Run. So everyone runs out so fast while everything disintegrated super fast, and Izuku used all his whips while everything was destroyed until he stopped. Shigaraki. Bucking great, grabbing the hand, the good thing is that I regenerate very fast than I expected. Rantarini. Well boy, tell us what you do. Izuku. I'm going for Shigaraki, activating one for all at 100% and pouncing. Mirko. You already heard the hero, let's go for the others. Menin. Let the slaughter begin. With Izuku. Izuku. Shigaraki running. Shigaraki. Finally face to face, but today I will finish you. So the two began to fight with great force and more. Izuku, who was hitting him so hard since the great rage he felt was super immense, and Izuku kicks him that sends him far away, but Shigaraki throws an air wave that sends him far away, but Izuku grabs a large rock that sends him super far. Shigaraki. Why don't you die, annoyed, taking out more quirks, but Izuku hits him in the stomach that sends him into the air. Izuku. Now I'll kill you, by giving him a super kick that made him vomit a lot of blood, and with his whips, he ties him up and sends him crashing into the ground, making a huge hole in the ground. Shigaraki. I is screaming furiously. Izuku. Now I'll kill you. Iida. Stop, idiot, grabbing him with his metal whips. Shigaraki. Good job, Iida. Izuku. But you were always the annoying traitor. Iida. Yes, because I wanted more power, and 2 because it's fun. Shigaraki. Well, when I'm done with him I'll give you half of my quirks, but first, opening his hands, I'll have the one for all for me. I was going to touch Izuku to take away the one for all. But suddenly Izuku began to take out many rays. Izuku. I'm already fed up, And that the two they shoot out very far while many green rays. Izuku. So you were furious too. Iida. Yes, and what are you going to do to me? Izuku. I'll rip your heart out. Iida. That's how I want to see it. But Izuku puts his whole hand in Iida's chest, making him start vomiting blood, but Shigaraki sees that Izuku took out his heart and crushes it, making Iida die quickly, and Izuku looks at Shigaraki. Izuku. Now it's your turn, damn, taking out many whips. Shigaraki. Anyway, I was going to kill him, but you did me a big favor. Izuku. Because of you my wife and I suffered in that hell Tartarus, but today you are going to die. Shigaraki. I want to see you try. Then that the two pounced on Izuku, he hits him so hard that he sends him flying super far. But Yuno arrives and began to burn Shigaraki, doing a lot of damage. Izuku. Love. You continue weakening. Shigaraki. They have me fed up. Izuku. And you to me giving him a strong kick that sends him super far and Izuku grabs many whips and sends him super far crashing him against many mountains and flies super high. Shigaraki. Well this bullet can't miss me. But Izuku cuts off Shigaraki's arms making him scream. Shigaraki. It doesn't matter I'll regenerate. But Izuku concentrates all of one for all in his right arm while Yuno makes her fire bigger. Izuku. For my Yuno. At that, Izuku punches him so hard that he sends him to the ground and Yuno was burning him very hard and flies with her fire. Yuno. This is for everything they did to my Izuku. And that Yuno throws a huge ball of fire that made Shigaraki completely burn his body and the fire spread seeing Shigaraki super charred. Izuku. I've waited to do this for a long time. Shigaraki. I will not give up regenerating his arms and launches a huge wave of air that sends Yuno flying. Izuku. Son of a bitch taking out a whip and ripping off both of his arms. Shigaraki. I screaming loudly. Izuku. You know I know that Almight was the one who killed her, but I will let her suffer slowly goodbye tomorrow Shigaraki. Shigaraki. No, wait. Izuku. Dead end. At that, Izuku grabs his head and pulls it off, thus dying Shigaraki while his body disintegrated. Izuku. You saw I won idiot and you lost putting Shigaraki's head and stepping on it while it disintegrated. Love where are you super worried Yuno where are you? But a huge burst of fire is seen in the sky. Izuku. Hey I like that he does those shows in the happy sky. Yuno. Izuki happy. Izuku. Yuno my love running happy. Yuno. Izuki happy. So the two of them threw themselves into each other's arms while crying with happiness. Izuku. My love, I thought they had hurt you a lot, my love. I'm sorry for not protecting you, my love. Yuno. Don't worry, I will always forgive you and I will always support you, my love. Izuku. But how did you know that I would be fighting today? Yuno. A girlfriend never reveals her secrets. Izuku. I see Bakugo told you laughing while Yuno wiped his tears. Yuno. Finally, everything is over for us, love. Izuku. Yes, love, and finally, you, me, Eri, and our daughter holding her belly will be happy. Yuno. Yes love and very soon we will grow the family soon. Izuku. Yes love and I will never stop loving you hugging her. Yuno. But are you okay love since her arms may be damaged? Izuku. Hey don't worry love I'm super fine holding her hand. Izawa. Running Sprout, you did it shocked. Izuku. Victory is ours. Everyone. Yes shouting happiness. Already at night. Izuku and Yuno were dancing quietly in their apartment since they had won the fight. While they were dancing Izuku had a big smile since finally it was all over for him and finally they could rest and they stopped dancing and turn off the music. Izuku. Finally it's all over for us love. Yuno. Yes and the best of all is that soon we will leave Japan to live somewhere else. Izuku. Let's see it there on TV. Reporter. And in the latest news a huge explosion was present in a somewhat luxurious apartment on the 14th floor where the explosion occurred fortunately there were no victims just a shame, All Might and number one hero lost his life due to the explosion, it is a very unfortunate event we regret the death of All Might. Yuno. You were right. Izuku. What do you eat what can you guess of course yes and now carrying it, let's make the couple. Yuno. There that's why I love you love giving her a kiss. Izuku. Let's toast taking out a wine and a skull. Yuno. Is it from All Might right? Izuku. Of course, since I cut off his head and gave the meat to the stray dogs. Yuno. How nice, then toast, I'm pregnant. Izuku. Then let's toast by putting wine on the skull, cheers, drinking from the skull. Yuno. Let's keep dancing. Izuku. Of course, love. Final chapter wedding. It would be 4 weeks since Izuku and Yuno killed Shigaraki. All the heroes could not believe that they had killed the successor of the symbol of peace very easily and more Izuku who gave him a great fight and came out super intact and in these weeks, everyone knew the horrible truth of what happened to Izuku's mother, so much so that All Might was completely forgotten since after what he did, he made them remove him from all of Japan and sometimes they went to his tombstone to mistreat it and throw garbage at it since now All Might was completely forgotten by everyone and in these weeks all of Japan was super grateful to Izuku, so much so that they always put a nice detail at Inko's grave and in these weeks the entire UA could not believe that everything was over thanks to Izuku, so much so that they wanted to give Izuku an award but the strangest thing is that he no longer went to school to collect his award, something that the students miss a lot and what do they do now? Narrator. We see Nezu reading the newspaper. Nezu. Hero Mirai Nikki made crime drop to 10%, something that had never been seen when Afo was in office reading. Midnight. Yes he did a great job Izuku. Izawa. The good thing about all this is that several villains are already in Tartarus and it is now full Tartarus. Nezu. How about we go see if young Midoriya is at home? Midnight. I don't know since it has been a long time since we heard from him. Nezu. Maybe he is resting because he killed the League of Villains, but let's see how he is. 30 minutes later. Midnight. Do you think so this? Nezu. I say yes since maybe he is resting more knocking on the door, but nothing was heard and knocks again. Izawa. Maybe there is no one there. Midnight. Excuse me ma'am, do you know what happened to the young people who lived here? Landlady. They left. Nezu. What? Landlady. Yes since they gave me the keys and went I don't know where honestly. Izawa. Where could he be? Midnight. I would like to know where you are Izuku looking at the sky. Meanwhile in Toronto, Canada. Izuku. Ready Eri you are ready like a beautiful witch said happily. Eri. Thanks daddy today I want to ask for many sweets and what are you? Izuku. Don't you see daughter putting on his white mask, I am Slenderman. Meanwhile elsewhere. Izuku Slenderman. Achoo. Jeffrey. Hello dad. Izuku Slenderman. I feel like your girlfriend Marin dressed up as me again, but good that way I will know that I have a big fan smiling with her sharp teeth. But Izuku. Izuku. Ready Eri to see my costume. Eri. Yes dad. Then Izuku comes out in a terrifying way, but Yuno with her clown costume arrives and hits him with a pillow. Izuku. Oh so you want war hitting him with a pillow. Eri. Pillow fight. So the three of them started to fight with pillows, but Izuku knocks them both down. Izuku. I'm the happy winner. 10 minutes later. Izuku. Oh yes babe Halloween has already started he said happily. Yuno. Yes we have 5 houses and we already have a lot of candy. Izuku. It's that in Canada they celebrate it in a big way so let's go too. Yuno. Well let's go to those houses. But a drop of sweat comes out since Izuku was dancing super happy with others dressed as Slenderman. Eri. Okay mom let's get more candy. So going to a house. The 3. Trick or treat Felicita and they give lots of candy to the family and they leave. Izuku. Yes, we already have many houses dancing happily. So they walked a little where they arrived at the center of the city where it was very beautiful. Yuno. Love here take a picture hugging him. Izuku. Okay Eri take a picture of us giving her cell phone. Eri. Good here I go in 3, 2, 1 taking it, ready. Yuno. Let's see how it turned out. Izuku. Wait Yuno grabbing it. Yuno. What's up love? Izuku. Look I edited it well. Yuno. Oh, but how beautiful the photo was. Izuku. Yes, I'll send it to be done to make a portrait because then we'll walk more. Yuno. Yes, love. 20 minutes later. Yuno. Finally, we have too many sweets. Eri. Yes, in a while, we'll eat a lot, she said happily. Yuno. And what a beautiful park Toronto has, but look at Izuku who was like trying to get out of the bathroom. Izuku, what are you doing? Izuku. What turning around, I'm not peeing in case you were thinking the wrong thing hahaha. 10 minutes later. Izuku. Okay family in front of these kind of skateboards I don't know what they are, but I always wanted to try one. Yuno. Sure it's safe love. Izuku. Yes love getting on, okay if it's half safe, but if it becomes well moving, okay it works well. Yuno. Let's see moving with the skateboard. Izuku. How about we have a race? Yuno. The winner chooses the movie they want to see. Izuku. Okay going to a point with Yuno. Eri. On your marks, ready now. So Izuku and Yuno shot out towards Eri where Yuno started to arrive, but Izuku gets ahead very quickly and wins. Izuku. Yeez. Yuno. Careful crashing and the two fall to the ground. Izuku. Hahaha I win now I choose the movie. Yuno. Okay well let's go. 2. Izuku. Hey you're not going to beat me Eri. Eri. No I'll beat you playing soccer until Eri scores a goal, yes I won happy. Izuku. You won that time, but next time I won't have mercy on you. Yuno. Love come. Izuku. Yes tell me. Yuno. You are good and took out a stuffed animal. Izuku. Okay then putting the coin in, this is going to be fun he said happily grabbing a bear. Yuno. Come on love you can do it. Izuku. Ready releasing the bear and Yuno grabs it. Yuno. There thanks love he said happily giving it a kiss. 10 minutes later. Yuno. Okay daughter, let's go to the living room, the movie is about to start. Eri. Yes, mom, seeing her father who hid Yuno's mask. Yuno. What's wrong, daughter? Izuku. Ayaya. Yuno. Ayaya, idiot, giving him a slap, don't scare me like that, love. Izuku. Okay, sorry, hehehehe, seeing, let's go to the living room carrying things. Yuno. Okay. So they went to the living room where they saw a lot of people in costume. You know. And well, love, which one will we watch? Izuku? Oh, you'll see. So the movie where the title appears transpires. You know. Ghostbusters. I hope it is entertaining since I have not seen anything about Ghostbusters. 2 hours later. Izuku? I honestly liked it, it was entertaining. You know. I did not know anything about Ghostbusters, but now I like the saga. Eri? I like the chocolate dolls. Izuku? Well family, let's go home to eat all our sweets. 1 month later. We see Izuku and Mitsuki walking calmly through a park. Mitsuki? I'm proud of you son, you are finally becoming a man. Izuku? Thank you mother, but I have already decided and I am going to marry her. Mitsuki? Believe me, your marriage will be very happy after all, you both love each other very much to the point that you will never think about divorce, that makes me very happy for you. Izuku? Yes, I am only missing the ring and that's it. Mitsuki? Maybe it's a little soon, but look at giving her the ring, it's your mother's ring, I have had it for a long time. Izuku? Wow, it's the same one smiling. Mitsuki? Inko would be super proud of you son, smiling happily. Izuku? Thanks for saving it and for being the mother I lost smiling, and the two hug each other super happy. 1 month later. We see Izuku in the park super quiet watching how many families were having a good time and he began to imagine his life with his family and his children having a good time making him smile. But some hands cover his eyes. You know. Who am I? Izuku? The most beautiful girl and the one who always drives me crazy with her great beauty that always dazzles that always has me in love forever. You know. There how romantic giving her a kiss and why did you call me darling? Izuku? Nothing I just wanted to spend time with you and walk around comfortably. You know. Then let's go. So the two began to walk super happy to have each other until they arrived at the ice cream where they bought some and went to the swings where they began to talk when they met when they confessed and when they rescued Eri making Yuno shed a tear or two like that went on all day until night. Izuku? You know we didn't have a shitty life just that we suffered a little. You know. Yes love but at least our love made our scars heal. Izuku? Well let's go Eri maybe she already fell asleep at my mother's house. You know. Yes love standing up and it started to snow. Izuku? Wow it's already snowing because it's already December 1st Merry Christmas in advance. You know. There are many days left but Merry Christmas smiling. Izuku? Okay let's go. So our couple walked calmly while the snow fell on top of them until Izuku stops. You know. Is something wrong love? Izuku? You know love I can't stand it anymore, since we watched 1 year of relationship, you really have me super in love, since I really love you too much meeting you in Tartarus was the best thing that has happened to me in my life, and rescuing Eri was the best too, and even more so that you are pregnant with our first daughter, you are the best thing that has happened to me in my life you arrived in a moment of darkness for me, you are my sea my moon my sky, I don't know what Arya without you so you know. I want to ask you something. You know. And that Izuku blushed since Izuku was kneeling and takes out the ring. Izuku? Yuno Gasai will you marry me? At that Yuno bursts into a great cry of happiness since she had waited a long time for this moment in her entire life. You know. Yes I accept screaming happily and throws herself into his arms beginning to kiss him all over his face. This is the best day of my life I am the happiest woman in the world screaming happily. Izuku. Now love calm down, stop crying, if you cry, I'll cry too. You know. You don't know how long I've been waiting for this moment, now the four of us will be a happy family. Izuku. I promise I will never leave you alone in life, love. Izuku you know. I love you, kissing. 1 week later. You know. My god this day I will never forget it all. And that enters the church with her super beautiful and expensive white dress, while Eri threw white petals at Yuno's feet and Izuku was happy for his girlfriend since she had fulfilled his childhood dream and more because she had a small pregnant belly that was growing, making her smile more and Yuno arrives and Izuku takes her hands and the two look at the father. Dear brothers we are gathered here to witness the union between Izuku Midoriya and Yuno Gasai. So happening all the things that happen at weddings that I do not know since I have never been to a wedding in my life let's continue. Father. Now Izuku Midoriya will say his vows. Izuku. Okay I Izuku Midoriya promise to be the best husband of all and give you everything in my reach and give you a lot of love that you really needed and never leave you alone in anything and I promise to protect you and my family because they are the most important thing to me and I promise to never leave them alone and I promise to always love you forever smiling even though it seemed like she wanted to cry. Father. Well now it's your turn daughter seeing Yuno. You know. Yuno Gasai promise to be the best wife, friend and lover of yours because I feel very happy that we are finally going to get married and you are finally my husband and I promise to always love you very much and never leave you alone and never stop loving you since I really love you very much my love and I promise to take care of our children and be with them in everything and I will cook for you since I feel very lucky that you are finally going to be my boyfriend and I promise to never stop loving you forever she said while crying non-stop and Izuku takes her hands to calm her. Father. Well by the power that has been granted to me and before the eyes of our Lord, I declare you husband and wife, you can now kiss the bride. At that Yuno throws herself into Izuku's arms beginning to kiss him very romantically while tears fell from her eyes as everyone applauded and one that others cried with happiness for the great moment of the couple. So they went to the party where everyone was having fun and Yuno threw the bouquet that Kami caught, implying that she is going to marry Bakugo and Yuno gets on stage where she grabs the microphone. Yuno. Hello everyone today I am going to dedicate a beautiful song to the love of my life this song I dedicate it to you love enjoy it. So starting to sing. So everyone began to follow Yuno which they sang super happy until it finished and everyone applauded and Izuku gets on stage. Izuku. It was the best song of all love I love you love. Yuno. I love you love giving him a kiss. Time skies several years later. We see Izuku returning to his huge mansion after a day of being the symbol of peace and enters his house but two little ones hug his legs. Pedro. Hello dad you finally arrive. Mary. You finally arrived daddy. Izuku. Yes, my little ones have arrived to continue playing carrying them both. Yuno. Welcome home dear. Izuku. Hello love going down to his children, look what I brought you giving them some flowers. Yuno. There they are very beautiful thank you love. Izuku. And tell me how Alex and Katie behaved. Yuno. Come look taking him to the living room where Izuku sees his newborn babies. Izuku. My babies are very adorable. Yuno. Yes, they spent all day sleeping they only wake up when they are hungry or they did in the diaper caressing them, come let's eat it seems you're hungry. Izuku. No I prefer to wait for my children to eat talking about them where are they? Yuno. They should not take long to come from school. Izumi. Mom dad we have arrived entering all your children. Izuku Yuno. Hello Yuko, Jeffrey, Theodore, Ricardo, Justin, Thomas, Carlos, Enrique, Drake, Timothy, Edward, Izumi, Eri, Yumi, Yuna, Yor, Yuno Jr., Victoria, Inko Jr., Julieta, Aileen, Lucy and Cassandra, they said happily and Yuno gives him a kiss. Izuku Yuno. How was it? Thomas. Mom dad finally I have a girlfriend and she is Komi-san. Izuku Yuno. How seriously surprised and happy. Eri. I already knew that they were for each other. Izuku. That's my son finally you became a man I am proud of you son hugging him. Yuno. Yes son, I'm happy that you already have a girlfriend since Yuko has Namari, Jeffrey has Katsumi, Theodore has Marin, Ricardo has Yuzaki, Justin has Nagatoro, Carlos has Hanabi, Enrique has Tajina, Drake has Kako, and Edward has Mai. Brothers. Welcome to the club brother. Izuku. And when are you going to invite her to the census I want to meet her. Yuno. And I give you my blessing. Thoma. Soon parents. Yuno. Well let's eat because dinner is getting cold. Everyone. Okay mom love. So everyone left and went to eat while they talked about Thomas and Komi's relationship, blushing him a little, spending a good afternoon with the family that Izuku and Yuno had dreamed of, and finally they were happy away from everything, even though they suffered a lot to get what they always wanted for themselves, it was completely worth it because they were finally together forever and they lived happily ever after. The end. Post-credit scene. We see Izuku Apuch looking at the tiny space on a balcony. Izuku Apuch. How long am I going to wait for that cursed barrier spell to put on my universe so they don't attack me dude? Izuku Death. I have better things to do you silly faggot I have to be a symbol of peace and be with my family and get more muscle, you bucking dung apart my potions ran out. Izuku Apuch. As always cheap excuses damn why didn't I tell Izuku Adam that guy if he was very polite. Izuku Death. Repeat what you just said. Izuku Apuch. Izuku Adam is more polite. But Izuku Death throws a big smash that sends Izuku Apuch super far. Izuku Apuch. Ai flying far away. Izuku Death. I hope with it that silly faggot respects, but Izuku Apuch pulls him with his whip. But Izuku. Izuku. Wow I hope they don't scold me because I haven't appeared in a whole year gosh, I hope they don't get upset because I got here. Izuku Apuch. Ai falling, now you've already got a ticket you guy. Izuku Death. Come here you asshole, grab rabbits. Izuku Apuch. Damn but if we're married to the same woman. Izuku Death. I don't give a hick venting. Izuku. I better wait so he doesn't get hurt. Are you also waiting for that they finish fighting? Izuku. Of course, and what is your name? Izuku Midoriya, but they call me Doom Slayer. Izuku. A pleasure since you are dedicated. Izuku Doom. I killed real demons. Izuku. Demons exist. Izuku Doom. Yes, and I take care of them a lot, they pay me super well, that's something good. Izuku. Yes, it's something good, I think they're finished. Izuku Doom. Let's go inside. 5 minutes later. Supreme Izuku. It's no longer a surprise that the two of them fight all day. Ingrid. Yes, the most normal thing is that Izuku Cuphead stops moving so animated. Izuku Forger. Oh, let Izuku Shuchi dance the jelly bean. Izuku Apuch. Well then, what do we do? Ingrid. Yes, I need you to help me with my orc problem since they arrived in Tabasco, and I need to eradicate them once and for all from my Lucifer state, and my husband is in charge now, and I need more help. Izuku Doom. Then let's go. All. And who the buck are you? Izuku. He's a friend, his name is Doom Slayer. Izuku Forger. A bucking dead. Izuku Supreme. I thought they were dead. Izuku. I'm not alive, sorry I haven't had time to see you, but hey, I'm here friends. Izuku Apuch. And this guy who is? Izuku Supreme. He's one of those who went to the Venom universe, and well, it's weird to see you. Izuku. I know, and sorry since I disappeared. Izuku Supreme. Okay, but if you want, let's marry orcs. Izuku Doom. Me too. Izuku dead. Of course. Izuku Doom. Then let's go. 1 hour later. Izuku Lucifer. Well, that's 300 orcs that we caught, but I didn't add to the 400 that Izuku Kratos and Izuku Doom killed. Izuku Doom. It was very simple cleaning his shotgun. Izuku Snake. It was difficult, but we were able to get them out of the state at last, Tabasco free of orcs. Orc. Please have mercy. Izuku Lucifer. Well, I'll give them to you, but answer me this question: who is my favorite singer of my Murasaki? What does that have to do with it? Izuku Kratos. I think he's cheating on them. Izuku Snake. It's Rihanna. Ingrid. Cardi B. Izuku Supreme. Taylor Swift. Orc. If it's Rihanna or Taylor Swift. But Izuku Lucifer drops them all into a big lake. Izuku Lucifer. Nah, they are not them, so they are screwed. But the orcs. Orcs. Help, we don't know how to swim while they watch the portal close. And that a huge fish comes out and eats everyone in one bite. Izuku Salazar. Time to eat Mussolini, but look at a huge pool of blood in the lake. Damn, I didn't notice that, maybe he sent someone to feed him. Well, enjoy your food a lot, Mussolini. Leaving. The end. Post-credit scene. Supreme Izuku. Izuku 2099. Something is happening. Supreme Izuku. I have a feeling something is going to happen, don't you feel it? Izuku Orochi. Problems, right? Supreme Izuku. It's not something worse, and no, it's not. Izuku Apuch and Death are going to fight again, I'm used to it. Murasaki. Guys, I already discovered who your favorite Lucifer singer is. Izuku Orochi. Which? Murasaki. It is. But a loud bang is heard. Izuku Lucifer. I came in like a wrecking ball, bitches, ahahahaha, singing happily in his wrecking ball, destroying another wall. Izuku Adam. But what the hell? Supreme Izuku. I'm not even surprised, drinking Pepsi. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.